Terry Harvey lead the pledge. If you come over here, if you know it, we'll see. You don't know it? I'll lead it. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's so nice being able to hide inside the voices of everybody rather than hear myself through Zoom. Great. So we are doing a hybrid meeting tonight, so there is the ability to participate over Zoom, correct? Yes? As well as in person. So if you are participating over Zoom, go ahead and if you'd like to make a public comment, raise your hand virtually. We can't see you. You're not in the room. So raise your hand virtually and we'll go ahead and call and bring you in. There's still a 3-minute time limit. If you're in the room and you'd like to make a public comment, feel free to come up to the microphone and you will have a little timer and we'll take care of you that way. I don't think we have to worry about Zoom bombing anymore. So that's good. If we go to a roll call vote, please. Or sorry, a roll call. No vote.
Councilmember Barnett.
Here.
Councilmember Dean.
Here.
Councilmember Harrington.
Present.
Vice Mayor Agramonte. Here. Mayor Harvey.
Present.
Thank you.
And if we could move to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I second.
We got a second from Jack and motion by Kelso. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Barnett.
Aye.
Councilmember Dean.
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Mayor Harvey.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you. I do just want to take a moment to welcome Councilmember Barnett and Councilmember Jack Ding, their first time, I think, in the room for City Council. So congratulations, welcome. It's different from up here. It's great. So we'll go ahead and go to public comment. At this time, members of the public may comment on any item not on the agenda. It is recommended that you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Under state law, unless otherwise permitted under the Ralph M. Brown Act, the merits of the matters presented under this item cannot be discussed or acted upon by City Council at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public will be invited to make comments at the time the item comes up for council consideration. When acknowledged by the mayor, please start by stating and spelling your name.
Okay.
Ken, a man who needs no introduction.
Oh, I do. Ken Brown.
Mayor of Awesometowne.
Todd Rouse gave me this T-shirt. 1396 Lubeck Street, Sonoma. Last house in the city limits. It's just a pleasure to be here once again with all of you and staff. It's just a positive, very positive thing. And I look forward to tonight's meeting, and it's good to have you here. That's all I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ken. Anybody else wishing to speak for public comment, for general public comment? Yes, come on up. Thank you.
I saw Ken take off his mask. Am I supposed to take it off or leave it on?
Your choice, really.
I will take it off then.
All right. You're separated from everybody else. So
All right.
we'll call it good.
All right, thank you, and welcome back, everybody. My name is Patty DeFern, and I live at 465 East MacArthur Street in Sonoma, and I'm here tonight to support the Valley Cemetery. Recently, they have decided not to lock that cemetery at night, and I live right next door, and I have a very large dog who likes to bark if there's anything over there other than a skunk. That she leaves alone. Anyhow, she's been barking quite frequently at night. There's been vandalism over there. There was a headstone turned over. There's been statues that have been turned over as well. And recently, there are people hanging out in the back. And they're in cars. They show up for about a half an hour, and then they leave. And they're never there before 10 o'clock at night, and they're way in the back. So I'm really concerned about the security for the cemetery. I truly believe that both cemeteries should be locked. It's a different population. We've had different things going on. And I think that it's important also for my security because I've been in my house for 40 years. Our common fence is 40 years old. In every heavy wind, some section comes down. And so beyond that, we now have the fire danger. If you've been in that cemetery, they have not cleaned it. They've not removed any leaves. There are logs where they've cut down trees where they've left them there. And I think it's time to, as someone said, we're going to put this on the back burner. Don't put that cemetery on the back burner anymore. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Other members of the public for general public comment?
Hello, my name is Leslie Hennessy. I'm a recent transplant to Sonoma. I've been here 3 years. I live at 847 West Spain. And I was quite heavily involved in politics in San Francisco with a fine wine shop, and I'm past president of the State Liquor Store Association. I sat on Mayor Frank Jordan's homeless task force for 3.5 years. And I learned a lot about the homeless. And I just want to say that to sweep the homeless under the carpet anymore and keep moving them around is ludicrous. And if it takes money, I think that there's enough here in this city, and there can be even more if we are to get 2 cannabis places and pay a 13% rate to the city or whatever it's going to be. There are many other ways to raise money, and I don't think we are doing that in this city. So I'd like to recommend that we look at new ways to increase revenue and make sure that we put a bunch of that or whatever we can to help the homeless as much as we have here in Sonoma. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. Anybody else for general public comment? No? Anybody online? No shock, we're in Sonoma County. That's how it works.
We've got some people with their hands raised, but they're not hearing any sound.
Oh,
So we're working on it. There are some that have it.
maybe, can we hear them maybe? Can we try it? Anybody online? I hear myself, I think. There we go. I hear voices, but it's just me. It's fine. It's fine, Doc.
I keep seeing all this psychic ads.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Can we hear that maybe? We try?
I believe that's Brad Day. Can you hear us, Brad?
I hear myself, I think.
Brad Day.
First time, guys.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can. And we can see a small picture of you. Just thought you should know that.
Can we hear that maybe? You try?
I believe that's Brad. Can you hear us, Brad?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes? Can you hear us?
First time, guys.
Is that a yes or a no?
We can. We can see a small picture of you.
Okay.
We should mute.
Okay, it's cool. It's kind of like a one-way audio right now, but it sounds like you can hear me. So, my name's Brad Day, and my wife Holly Kulak and I live on Old Winery Court, which has been in the news recently with Picasso buying up some homes in wine country in residential neighborhoods and turning them into what they call fractional ownership, which is really a different way of saying it's a timeshare. And you know, we've written an op-ed about this in the paper, and we are happy to see Logan, you coming out with some pretty good statements about Picasso and what it means not only to the housing market here in Sonoma, but really what it can do to the fabric of our communities. If we can start buying into any residential neighborhood and turning them into what is essentially a vacation rental or a timeshare and avoid the taxes and regulations that we put into place for these kinds of things. So we think it's really important to kind of keep the momentum going on this and to not get behind the 8 ball. I think for everybody, for the city of Sonoma, for the county of Sonoma, even for the state of California to look at this, because we have a lot of desirable locations. Sonoma is a beautiful place. That's why we moved here in the first place. But we really do need to make sure we're striking that nice balance between tourism as well as our local residents.
All right. Thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate your comments. Or Mr. Day.
Josh Cutler.
Okay. Mr. Cutler, you're on with the Sonoma City Council. Maybe. We hope.
He's muted.
He's muted.
It's a great comment. I really agree with it.
Josh, if you can hear us, can you unmute yourself, please?
We'll just read the letters to the editor from the newspaper each meeting.
I think that would count.
Kind of covers it, right?
Pretty much. All right, so
Josh, you'll need to unmute.
Is there anybody after this? If we can't
Yeah.
get this working, could we continue this portion of the meeting until we get the kinks worked out?
Right now, the people that are attending by Zoom can't hear anything that's going on from in here, which is one of the, we're working on that. It shows that it's working, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that working.
Should we move on to the next comment and come back to Josh?
yeah, let's go to the next one. And I would bet, LaTanya, because you're joining on Zoom, that they can hear you quite well. Or if we could have one member of staff join the Zoom meeting, I don't know if that would work. Like, I mean, if LaTanya's on Zoom, then that should help.
I don't know, I'll ask.
I would think. I don't know. But if there's the next person, let's bring them up, please.
They are
bring them up.
they're unmuted, let's see.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. He does.
I'm assuming you can. This is Tom Conlon. Thank you for taking my comment tonight. I wanted to call in and wish you all well, and especially departing Mayor Harvey. I wanted to remind everyone that we are at 419 parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere, and that glaciers are collapsing, and that here in Sonoma County, greenhouse gas emissions continue to increase, particularly in our transportation sector. So I hope as you contemplate your options this evening, you'll keep that in the front of your mind as you move forward. I also am reminded that the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts has recently placed warning labels on their gasoline pumps to warn drivers that gasoline and diesel are significant contributors to our climate crisis. And so I would encourage the city of Sonoma to do the same here. Thank you for your consideration of my comments tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Conlon. This is just, I apologize to everybody in the audience. Thank you for suffering through this with us. We're going to get there. I feel like I'm at a rock show in high school.
We have 2 additional if you want to try them again.
And one in person.
And
We have it in person.
I was actually on the Zoom and I drove down.
Hey! Additional minutes. I agree, Jack. Come on up.
All right.
We prefer in person. It works.
My notes here. Thank you all. So my name is Josh Cutler. I'm the operations director over at the Sonoma Community Center. So for anyone who doesn't know the Sonoma Community Center, we are a local nonprofit. We focus on providing extraordinary creative, cultural, and community experiences. We're based over in the former Sonoma Grammar School over on East Napa Street. We've been there since 1953. And we also maintain the building, which is on the National Registry of Historic Buildings. So in addition to our core programming, one of our long-term goals has been focusing on sustainability to support that and embody that in what we do. So to that goal, in the late 2000s, we installed a water catchment tank and redid the entire front landscaping of our building in a water-wise demonstration garden. We did that in partnership with the Sonoma County Master Gardeners. And then more recently, in 2018, we installed a rooftop solar array. It's a 87 kilowatt system that offsets 70% of our electrical usage. And then last year in 2020, we actually entered into discussion with Tesla about installing or having them install a supercharger station over at our location. Part of that discussion we had with them was around the idea of wanting to include capacity for everyone, not just for Tesla drivers. So to that goal, Tesla actually did agree to cover the infrastructure costs associated with installing level 2 chargers, which are universal chargers that can be used by anyone. And so they were going to cover the cost of the infrastructure component and also provide the chargers themselves at a reduced cost of $20,000. So the installation would, basically provide incidental benefits for the Sonoma Community Center. But again, as part of our goals of promoting sustainability, we did want to move ahead with that project. We were under the belief that the city would provide funding for that potentially as a part of their sustainability goals to add EV infrastructure in the city of Sonoma. This would be a significant cost savings for the city, both because they wouldn't need to find another location and because it's a reduced cost compared to places like Depot Park and a lot of the other locations around the city that have been explored previously. So the benefits, obviously, just from sustainability, but also this is a location within a couple blocks of the plaza. Local businesses, people that are visiting, be able to charge their cars nearby while walking around to the plaza. So it's really something that would help the city and us as a community. So our understanding is that this funding has not been included in the budget that's being proposed. So we would strongly suggest that the council provide consideration to finding funding for this, both for the community at large and just to promote sustainability in Sonoma. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We gave him a little extra time, Jack, so.
There is one more.
We'll
that's
try
raising
it,
their
but if
hand.
it's bad, we're just going to move on. Or at least give him a shot later. But this is going to be for all of the public comments. I know. We could. It's an option.
Sinjin Bain is who we have just in. We're trying to see
Okay.
if he's going to come in.
Maybe you can chat and just send him a message and say, I'm you. Okay. Well, you think of it.
And just make sure that he wants to, I think he wants to comment on Broadway, which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
right time.
It's true.
Or maybe he wants to comment on it.
Who knows? It's more than a little. Maybe you could chat and just send him a message and say,
Hey, this is,
All right, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment, and we're going to move on to the next item. Meeting dedications. Anybody have meeting dedications for tonight?
I do have.
You do? All right. Wonderful, Jack.
First of all,
I love it.
we dedicated to Stan Pollock. Stan Pollock and passed away May 19, 2021. He is the local resident for here more than 20 years. And then he was heading home.
He wants to comment on Broadway, so he backed out.
Oh. He is 86-year-old and passed away at the sea of his 41-feet sailboat. The SV believe in high winds and waves about 75 nautical miles west of the Golden Gate, San Francisco. That is May 19, 2021. He was a lifetime partner for Terry Shaw, that we know, very well, So he was born in Canada, Toronto, Canada, March 15, 1953. And that he was a Polish parents, immigrant in the family, and got the formal education in Canada, got the bachelor and a master degree in engineering and management. And in 1980s, he moved to Silicon Valley, serving for the Sun Microsoft for the decades. And then, over the 20 years in the service as a manager of information technology, and then he got a lot of experience in both technique and management. Unfortunately, in September 2005, Stan suffered a spinal cord injury after a chain link fence he was climbed over collapsed. That is very, very sad. However, after the severe disability injury, it never stopped him from pursuing his dreams, even if it occurred them. He was admired for the maintain personal integrity and determination to lead an active life despite the difficult circumstances. Stan is survived by his life partner, Terry Shaw, and his canine companion dog, Min. He has a daughter and a son in Canada. As of this time, the SV believe continue to sail on out to sea with only the Stan's spirit on bound. Thank you. I have another dedication, usually dedication to people who died. But this one, we dedicated a wonderful and local young generation, young people who started his new life. That is the local cadet graduate from the West Point. Cadet Nephew Sanders is a son of Joanne and Morgan Sanders. A lot of people know, Joanne is former city council and a mayor. He graduated from the U.S. Military Academy on Sunday, May 22nd, 2021. He also got award, so-called Superintendent Award, signified he is on the top of the 15% of his class, crossing all field of achievement. Matthew graduated from the Justin Senior High School in 2017, reported for the duty that July. He graduated with a Bachelor of the Science degree in Life Science, along with the nuclear engineering sequence. In addition to his intense course of study, Matthew competed as member of West Point water polo team and excelled in the arena of the diving, where he attained position of supervisor along with a master diver certification. During his junior year, he served on honor committee, which investigate recently examined cheating scandal. This assignment afforded Cadet Sanders opportunity to leave an important legacy to West Point because committee's recommendations concerning how to prevent the problems are going to be incompleted by West Point, the teachers, staff for the future and the cases. So we have a lot of the exciting and the news from the everywhere come to our town. Last week, I was chatting with his grandma, Anik, on a boat. I think a lot of people know her. She still is a high school teacher in the Justin Siena. Yeah, she told me, and Jack, Matthew is a really, really good kid. It is not because he is my grandson. I was so, impressed. I said, yes, he is a really good son. So it reminds me, Sonoma here, yeah, we are so lucky we have these kind of young people, bring the Sonoma's name, bring the Sonoma's legacy, go out to anywhere in this cross the country, shining the word. This is a Sonoma, special Sonoma. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. That's really nice. It's nice to get a meeting dedication to somebody who's starting their life.
Yeah.
That's great. Move on to item 3.1, presentation on groundwater sustainability plan by Sonoma Valley Groundwater Sustainability Agency.
I think this is an online presentation, so I think let's move through the people ones first.
You want to do the people ones?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just do mine.
Out of respect
Let's do
there.
it. Let's go to item 3.3, recognition of, oh, new employees, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Introduction of new employees, Colleen Ferguson.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
Mayor Harvey and council members, it's my extreme pleasure to be here to kick off introductions of new and promoted staff members in the Public Works Department. And so I'll start with recognizing our new Public Works Operations Manager, Chris Pegg, who's here. Chris stepped into this important role. It's the largest team of anyone to manage in the city staff because it's public works operations. So it includes the whole water system. It includes all the streets and the traffic safety issues and all that. And it includes the parks, the cemeteries, the facilities. These are the people that take care of everything in Sonoma. So it's an important role for Chris to step into. He served for years as the Public Works Environmental Compliance Analyst with a degree in urban planning. And so while he had specific responsibilities in that role, pretty soon people figured out he could do like anything technical. And so he was doing GIS maps for people and doing all kinds of support and networking with all the operations staff. And so built a lot of respect among the team before he competed in an open recruitment with several highly qualified candidates to come out as the top candidate for the city's operations manager. And he will introduce his staff.
Thank you very much, Fergie. I'd like to introduce the next four new employees to the council. I'll start in the order in which they started, which means we'll start with Mr. Terrence Erickson. Terrence is a has been with the city since April, starting as a maintenance worker assigned to the water department. Before that, Terrence worked with Sonoma County Regional Parks and brings a wealth of experience and professional credentials to our department. Changing over to water, that was a little bit of a shift. But in public works, we need as many people who can work as kind of a Swiss Army knife as possible. And I know that Terrence is going to be just that kind of Swiss Army knife that we need in our department. The next person to recruit was actually a promotion. That was Mr. Tommy Plume. Mr. Plume is the city's street supervisor, also starting as effective April. Before that, Tommy worked as a maintenance worker in the Public Works Department, assigned to the Streets Department, and built up a lot of the knowledge and skills that he needed to successfully compete for the supervisor position, also in an open recruitment process. Thank you, Tommy. The next two appointments happened in May. Mr. Anthony Navarro. Mr. Navarro is the city's new streets, cemeteries, and facilities supervisor. And he comes to us with a long background of experience, both with the city of Santa Rosa and with the city of Schertz, Texas. Where he held the positions of senior maintenance worker and park supervisor, respectively. I know the parks and cemeteries and facilities are in good hands, in Mr. Navarro's hands, and I've personally been overseeing a lot of his responsibilities directly in that, so I'm confident and also relieved to hand over some of those responsibilities to Mr. Navarro. Last but not least, Isaac Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez also started with the department in May and is a maintenance worker assigned to the Streets Department, reporting to Tommy Plume. Mr. Hernandez comes to the city with a number of years of experience in light industrial manufacturing. And he's shown a lot of promise. I know I got to personally see how quickly he picked up backhoe loader training just last week, and I know he's got a bright future in front of him here at the department. So, with that all said, I'm proud to introduce these 4 new employees to you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. And I know I can speak for council and the community when I say thank you to your whole team. It's a small team and it's a big task, and it's a community that demands and asks for a lot. And while not everybody recognizes the work of public works all the time, every time you walk down the street and it feels safe, every time you turn open your faucet and you get good clean water out of it, every time you walk around the plaza and it looks beautiful, it's all thanks to the work of you folks. So I just want to really thank you and appreciate the work that you do. It's really what makes our lives possible here, and what makes it such a beautiful place. So thank you for your efforts, and really appreciate it. Thank you. It's great to see some people moving up and moving on. All right, on to item 3.3, recognition of Mayor Harvey, including Celebrate Sonoma plaque for Lily Logan Harvey. Who do I turn it over to? To you, Madeline? Are you taking this one? Sure. Thanks.
So, I'm going to do this so people can hear me. First of all, this is happy and sad because, we've enjoyed working with you, and I'm sure you're going to be missed because you were at every vaccination, every testing, every food handout. You did so many things, which I think is amazing. So I would like to present this to you from the City of Sonoma Distinguished Service Award, Logan Harvey, Council Member 2018 to 2021, Mayor 2020 to 2021, presented on behalf of your fellow council members, city staff, and the citizens of the City of Sonoma in grateful recognition of your selfless, dedicated leadership and service to the community. Thank you so much.
I didn't realize you're supposed to go. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's wonderful. What are we going over to Kelso? Kelso's got more stuff for me? Okay. More plaques.
And should we do it in the front with Lily?
Oh, sure.
Both of your days.
Okay.
Or would you like to join us up here? Or
I don't care.
well, we also are here tonight to celebrate Logan and Lily Harvey. It's today, June 7th, 2021. Is let's go down there. Yeah. Lily and Logan Harvey Day in the city of Sonoma. Can you hear me?
No. Can I hear you online?
Yes.
That's what's important.
Yes. Yeah, as long as Zoom can hear me. No, I'm just gonna, yeah.
There you go.
Maybe go closer to the microphone.
Okay. Should we take off the phone?
I don't.
What would Gavin say?
No rehearsal, huh?
Okay. So, Celebrate Sonoma was started 2 years ago by Councilwoman Harrington, and it was a initiative to recognize people that really represent the true fabric of the city of Sonoma. And I couldn't think, and I'm sure the council couldn't think of two people that best represent our town than Lily and Logan Harvey. You know, Sonoma's obviously, it's an agricultural area. We're obviously known for our grapes, and we used to be known for our orchards, and I hear today we grow cannabis. But I think what we grow best are people. And Logan and Lily were both born and raised here. As Councilman Ding just, dedicated the meeting to a young person starting his life. I'm so proud of Logan and Lily. We're so honored that, you led our city so well, Logan, with the help of Lily over the last 2 years. Honestly, I can't remember the last time there was a mayor 2 years in a row. And that's really a testament to you and to your service during the pandemic, obviously, when everything was sort of up in the air. You were feeding people, you were keeping the city moving forward through your social media, you were letting people know about what people needed to know. And we are going to really miss you on this council, and we're going to miss you, Lily. And I am so honored to, on behalf of the council and Vice Mayor Agramani, declare June 7th, 2021, Lily and Logan Harvey Day in the city of Sonoma.
So funny with the mask. We're smiling.
I think we have a bit of public comment too on this item. Vice Mayor Agramani, I think we have some public comment on this item too.
I think we have council wants to comment also.
I don't know if you want to go to the public first?
I can go. So in thinking about each person who gets the opportunity to be mayor has the opportunity to make it their own, and how they make it their own reveals something about how we all might do it better when it's our own chance. And so, or what people want. And one thing I thought a lot about Logan's term was it really is, in terms of structurally setting up how the mayor should be, it really was wonderful to have someone who went to everything that really represented the city, and that was a sacrifice for Logan because he has his own job. And so it is too bad, structurally, it made me think structurally, it's too bad that we don't have that, because it's so clear that that was such a benefit to our community to have someone who could or would be the face of the city at so many things. And I think it brought the valley closer to the city, which was something that people had really wanted. I think it brought Santa Rosa, our own supervisor is here tonight, brought them closer to the city. And there were so many personal connections that were made that were so important for getting work done. And I think that is something that certainly I learned by watching you, and it was impressive. And it's really been wonderful to see all of the heartfelt goodbyes to you, which a lot of it are the deep, deep connections you made, and really letting people know they were welcome here. And sometimes I think we think that people should feel welcome here, but it requires putting a hand out, and you did that in spades, and it was incredibly valuable and long lasting. And I think you forged some real, precedents about how to do it. So I was very impressed with your mayorship, and of course, doing all that takes a toll on your spouse. And so thank you, Lily, and you do deserve your day, and thank you for loaning your husband for the last 2 years. We have really appreciated him.
Thank you.
I want to say something. Hi, Logan. The first time when I heard the Novus news, I felt really sad. You already know that. I felt sad. And you are, indicator of the Sonoma town. You was raised here. You have so many friends, family members here. You are living means a lot of things. But I always look forward and look a good side and for the future. And someday, when outside you got too much trouble or too much, so come back hometown, Sonoma, still waiting for you. But this is the worst case scenario. The good scenario is I wish you keep going on your, never forget community service, political. Your leadership is no limit. Sky is the limit for you. Yeah, because we already saw that. The people in this town are very sophisticated. Look good at you. Good luck. And the last time, 2 years ago, when he was sworn in, I was coming here. Your parents also in the first floor. First row, I the second row. I told you, I said, Logan, I congratulate you. And then I want to see you fly. Right now, you really fly. Flying to the north, to the up. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Yes, oh, thank you. I think I'll go next. A couple of things Logan and I share, even though there's many years between us. We both like Tupac. The other thing he said to me, he said, I think I need to get a little more hood in me like you have. Meaning, I do have that edge. Nobody believes it, but I do. So I remember when you were first mayor last year, I said to you, Logan, I believe there's a difference between city business and people business. You don't want to be known as the slurry seal mayor. And you went way beyond that, Logan. I think you've seen probably 80% of all vaccinations. You've given out probably 75% of food. You've done so many wonderful things far beyond, I move around, but you were really amazing. And I think this city was so fortunate to have that. And you are not the slurry seal mayor. Congratulations. You understand city business versus people business very, very well. We can talk about Tupac sometime, but we don't need to talk about the other. I am so proud to have worked with you. Thank you. Thank you for that present.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam.
And I'll just chime in. I want to echo all the comments of the council members that have spoken thus far. I remember the first time I met Logan. We both were born and raised here, but I'm just a little older, and so our paths didn't cross until a few years ago. And there was a development project that was being proposed that I was involved in the sort of process, and we got coffee at the Basque, and I was looking forward to a sort of nice, interesting sort of get to know, and I was going to hear what you thought. I was going to tell you what I thought, and you immediately challenged me, and sort of in a friendly but strong way challenged me on what I thought about this certain project, and you've been challenging me ever since. And you do it in a way that is, the old phrase, like you can be disagreeable without, well, actually I've ruined it now.
You can disagree without being disagreeable.
Thank you. That's what I meant. But the point is, sometimes you and I come from different perspectives, but we ultimately care what's best for Sonoma, and you have challenged me since the first time I've met you. You've opened my eyes to things, and one of the reasons why I was interested in applying to be on this council was to work with all of you, and including you. And I'm going to be very sorry to see you go. Your leadership was very impressive and admirable, and there was a reason why, as I mentioned, that you were the mayor 2 years in a row, and it's going to be big shoes to fill, and I think we'll be able to do it. But as you know, as Councilman Ding said, you'll always have a home here, and we look forward to you and Lily coming back at some point. So I'm going to miss you, and that's it. Yeah.
Am I supposed to talk, or do we public comment now? We'll do public comment. The city manager's telling me we're doing public comment, so I'll go with Dave. If anybody would like to speak, please. I don't know. Miss Gorin.
Can I unmask?
Of course. That's the unmasked table.
I'm vaccinated, like all of you. Whoops, caught on my earring here. That's the problem with masks and earrings. They
Earrings.
don't work together.
They don't mix.
I am delighted to be here at your maiden voyage for the hybrid Zoom meeting. I am so glad that we're able to do this in person, and I don't have to be on the Zoom making some comments. The Board of Supervisors will be joining you tomorrow for our first hybrid Zoom meeting, official meeting. It's probably going to be a long day, and we'll probably have some of the same technical challenges that you're experiencing. But I understand we'll have maybe more members of our public coming to talk with us. They're so excited about actually being in the board chambers, being able to comment. But we've learned so much during the last year, not the least of which is our ability to cope, survive, evolve with technology. And I don't have to be in my car zooming all over the place, contributing to those greenhouse gases that Tom Conlon was talking about. I can be on my Zoom talking to many, many constituents that we share in common about lots of different things. I can't add much to what you just said. Such moving comments about the contributions of Logan. But let me just say, Logan, this is not your gold resolution. A little piece of paper here, but thank you, Karina, for helping to pull some comments together. Working remotely makes it really difficult to get those signatures. So we will be mailing you and Lily your gold resolution. Make sure we get your address wherever you decide to land. It has been a journey together, and you're right, Amy. I think what we have learned over the past year is how important it is for the city and the county to work together. And it was before that, it was the power, it was the fires, it was the power shutdowns, it was the emergency preparedness, it was responses to emergency that really propelled the city and the county to understand the need to work more closely together. And we had, when Kathy Capriola was the city manager, we had weekly Zoom or telephone calls with the mayor and the city manager, navigating through our many emergencies. And then COVID happened. And Logan, like you, I have a passion for working on climate change and ending homelessness and so many things. All of those issues had to be placed on the back burner as responded to the very immediate need and threat to public health with the COVID pandemic. But we have managed to see the end of the rainbow. Almost 75% of our community is vaccinated. Yay! So much higher than many other counties and many other states moving forward. We know how important it is to be vaccinated. And I can say that Logan and Kathy and the Health Center and the Lou Center and the vintners and growers have all been at the leading edge of advocating for testing and vaccinations, and where are those resources coming down the valley? And Supervisor Gorin, come on, make it happen. But it was a joint effort to make it happen, absolutely. And I'm so pleased to be the partner with all of you. And you have been amazing in the kind of great issues that you've tackled. Raising the minimum wage, working on the living wage ordinance, raising the minimum wage, ending homelessness, the housing trust fund, our collaboration with the construction of the Zaha project on Broadway. It has been quite an important ride for all of us to participate in. And Logan, you called me up and you said, I want to have lunch. And it was the first time I've been to lunch with anybody outside of my family. And we had a lovely lunch. Not once did you say you were leaving the city. Shame on you. We were talking about your great political future ahead of you. And then the next week you call me up and that phone just about went through the window. I am so sad to see you and Lily leave. I absolutely understand why you want to leave for great passages, great opportunities. You will be successful wherever you go. And like Jack, I firmly believe that I will see your name as a state representative, a congressional representative, a U.S. senator, absolutely one day. And I will lead you in on a little fun factoid that many of you don't know. When I was advertising for a district director or a field representative, who should apply for that position? Logan Harvey. And I said, I would love to have you working with me. This is not your destiny, Logan. You're a leader, you're passionate, you're outspoken. You are not going to be answering the phone talking about slurry seals and road paving. You're going to be leading the charge, and indeed you are. I'm so pleased that I turned you down because you went on to bigger and better things, absolutely. I personally will miss you, but the challenge goes to the other four to replace him with someone as vibrant and passionate, and maybe young, to take his place. We need the young folks, the next generation, to rise up, become the leaders that we need you to be, and we want you to be. Thank you all so much for what you do and for the great presentation tonight. I will miss you, friend. I didn't even talk about SETA. That will come on Monday. My vice chair of SETA will have to replace you there as well. So, great work, Logan. It's been such an honor and a pleasure to work with you. And now I will work with all of the rest of you in the next passage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan.
Well, Logan, you're a good dude. So many things that we agree on politically and socially, and you move those issues forward steadfastly, and I appreciate it. And Lily, I know that being the First Lady of Sonoma can be a difficult position, but you handled it with grace and charm. And, you know, I was mayor 3 times here in Sonoma, not consecutively, but I understand the job, and you did it superbly. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Logan.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm really excited to be back in this room. This is really cool.
There's a certain energy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I learned that you're a Tupac fan, so that's also very cool.
It's the greatest thing.
Yes,
It's like the greatest thing.
was not expecting that twist. 2020 was a really difficult and challenging year, but now with a little hindsight, I'm actually really thankful for it, because we got to see who really stepped up. And Logan, nobody stepped up more than you did. It was a really challenging year, and we were really, really fortunate to have you sitting in the mayor's chair. I'm really proud of how much you've grown. I truly admire the way you conducted yourself and represented not just the city, but you went across the city limits and took it upon yourself to make sure you were caring for the people of the Springs neighborhoods and Glen Ellen and Kenwood and everywhere in the valley. I also really think it's important to share how many times I heard from business owners. I work for the Chamber of Commerce, by the way, sorry. That they had heard that you would come in to ask how they were doing. And the work that you do from the dais here is really important, but it's that day-to-day grind of showing up and listening to people and doing that hard, boring work of being there and being present for the community that sets you apart. So I'm really thankful to have worked with you, and I wish you all the best, and just thanks for everything you've done for the community and for our local businesses. Thanks, Logan.
Thank you, my friend.
Good evening. My name is Karina Garcia. I'm actually field representative for Supervisor Susan Gorin, but I'm here as a member of the community tonight. And Logan, I just want to thank you on behalf of the Latinx community, because during this COVID pandemic, you really stepped up. You thought about the Latinos and food insecurity and making sure that they were all being fed during this time. So thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you. You are way younger than me, and I admire you. So thank you very much.
I admire you as well, Karina. Thank you. He's got a gun!
Finally said it. Buenas tardes todos a nuestro consejo municipal y al alcalde Harvey. Sorry, I'll say it in English. I just want to take a laugh out there, but you beat me to the punch. But I want to, good afternoon, council and Logan Harvey, our mayor. What kind of an officer, and the chief of police who's basically in charge of everybody's safety, what kind of a chief would I be if I wouldn't come here and send you off, making sure that you had all the needs while you're taking your trip. So I kind of got you some, sanitizer, some snacks while you're driving with you and your wife Lily, sunflower seeds, that's always the best thing to do, and some jerky. These are very things that you need on the road, right? So I just want to say that, when we first met, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't like the best thing ever, but it was a first meeting. But unfortunately, I'm being honest up here, I swore to tell the truth. But unfortunately, our friendship developed because of a murder that occurred in another state. And you and I and all the other chiefs and all the other mayors decided to do some police reform. And you stopped by and you came by and we met, and you met our officers. You went on ride-alongs, and Sergeant Barras, I told him, whenever you see the mayor, you want me to kidnap him? Yeah, kidnap him. And he did, and he would take you, and anytime there was a concern with the city regarding traffic or anything, he would take you and he showed you what perspectives were, and, basically made you understand how we did our job. You went on a ride-along with our SRO, which you were very fond of. And so, yeah, it was great. And from then on, I think our friendship was like, yeah, you finally began to understand. We went to the main office, to the sheriff's office, and you took a tour. And so it was a great experience. And ever since then, we've been friends. You call me, I call you. It doesn't matter. So I just want to say you need to keep doing what you're doing. You have a great heart. And you're going to Seattle. And again, what kind of chief would I be if I wouldn't send you with the right things to go to Seattle? Because those Seattle guys, those fans, they're not that great. So, I grew up watching Seattle Seahawks wide receiver. I forgot his name now. I had him in my head, but that's who, Steve Largent. Thank you, Steve Largent. And I wanted to be like him. I remember going out there and getting catches, and then eventually Jerry Rice came along and says I wanted to be like him, and he actually was way better than him. So, so I said, what else can I send with you than something to remind us, of what we do every day with our colors, right? So I hope it fits. If not, you need to start working out. I can say that. He's not going to be the mayor in a couple minutes here. So I really appreciate you, Mayor, and thank you very much for everything you've done for this community. I miss you. Thank you. Take care. Take care.
Well, I hope I'm going to get some points for bravery here, because that is an incredibly tough act to follow. Nevertheless, I would be remiss, Mayor Harvey, if I didn't come up and say a few words, both as your fire chief as well as a 50-year resident of this community. And thank you for your service, your leadership, and your love of our community and all of its citizens. And that's you as well, Lily. And thank you, parents, for all that you have done to bring this here. That's that's a tough endeavor, but one that is certainly worth acknowledging. And thank you as well. Yeah. Yes, as a parent, I know that, and I know my parents would say the same thing. Logan, you've had an incredibly challenging couple of years as mayor, as we have all faced as a community. Your leadership has just been exceptional through that time. I know it's been a lot of examples have been said, but for me as a citizen, as well as for my board of directors with the fire district and all of the members of our department, we appreciate your leadership, your support, and your love of our community. And the one thing I can offer is that the next time you and Lily are down for open house, the Mickey Mouse pancakes will be ready. Best of luck to both of you, and much happiness and success.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chief. Well, if there's no one else rising, I'll take a couple moments. I'm going to try not to cry. Whew. Okay. I've been completely overwhelmed and blown away with the amount of love and support that's come out from the community, and I know it means a ton to Lily as well. When you're born and raised in Sonoma, it's such a wonderful place to grow up, and I do think we produce fantastic people. And I think we bring fantastic people here, too. There's a Sonoma spirit that you know when you see it, you feel it in the hugs, and you feel it in the love. And I ran for council because I saw, frankly, because Donald Trump got elected. I ran for council because I realized on a national level, nothing that mattered to me was going to get done. But I recognized once I started going to council meetings and I saw people like Amy and like Rachel and like Madeline that were up here on this dais, that there was good work that was getting done here. That there were people that really cared here, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I wanted to be able to help push those things forward. And to do it in your hometown it's a really special experience. Okay. So I joined council in order to get certain things done, and with the help of Amy's leadership, really led by Amy during her first year, we got minimum wage passed. We got a affordable housing trust fund done. We did all the things that I had ran on, you were championing, and we had this team that got it all done. And I think in this town, there's a real need to commit to make sure that young people can keep growing up here, that they can keep having an opportunity here, that they can get jobs, that they can buy homes, or even just rent one. And this council here is supportive of that mission. They're warriors for that mission. And I think the community wants that, but I think there's times where we need to be willing to take some personal sacrifices of a little more traffic and a little less parking so that a few people can have a home. And I hope we move forward in that way. When the pandemic struck, God, I just remember being on the phone with Kathy, like, are we going to have a downtown? Like, what is this going to look like? Those first few days, Susan and I had multiple conversations. The rest of the council was all talking. It was just like, what is this going to look like? How are we going to function as a community? And for me, there was no choice other than to kill myself for the community, do every single thing that I could to lift this up. And I didn't do it alone at all. I was a facilitator. There were many people on the team. And Karina, your work down there in the Springs, the Charlotte Comunitarias were fantastic. Supervisor Gorin was everywhere as well. She was, every time you were on a Zoom meeting with Supervisor Gorin, she's like, all right, I'm on to the next meeting. I mean, she probably spent 10 to 12 hours a day on Zoom. And hiring Karina to have a bilingual, bicultural person down in the Springs from the supervisor office, it changed the game, and you're such a hard worker. You really lifted that up. And it wasn't just the pandemic. We also had a national tragedy around police violence. And so I'll tell you, coming back to that, the effort that Chief put in to work with those kids, to make people feel comfortable, it was really a beautiful thing. And so what kept me going through this pandemic was the efforts of everybody else. The city staff that was tireless, that figured out how we were going to get on Zoom. Our city manager, who was putting in hours and hours a week. Our planning director, Wayne Wyrick, public service, or public works, who were figuring out how we were going to keep the businesses open. How are we going to figure out how to build a parklet and everything? And council was so supportive in backing that up. And so what's so beautiful and special about Sonoma is it is a community. We're a tourist town. We have people that come visit, and a lot of those tourist towns die in their community aspect. And Sonoma hasn't. Sonoma has not died yet. And that community is what is so wonderful about this place. And that's why things like Picasso are so scary to me, where it could tear it up. And so I just, I encourage you, council, the rest of you, to continue pushing that message, to keep the flame of Sonoma's communities alive as much as you can. And I know you care about that vision, and I know you love this town as much as I do, and I've been honored to work with every single one of you, and I wish it could be longer. It's just, this opportunity is what it is. And I look forward to seeing all the great things that you're going to do, because I know every single one of you cares deeply about the future here and wants to see this community continue to grow and flourish. And so I'll miss you. I'll miss every single one of you. I'll miss every single one of you. And I'll be back at least to visit, hopefully to stay one day. And if you're ever up in the Pacific Northwest, let me know. And I'll be happy to grab a coffee, grab a lunch, and I'm only a phone call away anyway. So I'll miss you. I love you all. And just thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for entrusting me with the right of the city. And I'm glad to be leaving where it's in a better place, and we've got a bright future and hope. And as far as the Springs go, I do have to add this. I did not know that the Springs was not part of Sonoma until I started really getting involved with Sonoma City Council. And the fact that it isn't is a crazy thing. That's a wrong. It doesn't allow enough representation for the people that are there, and they are regularly left behind. It's tough being off the 101 corridor. Susan knows that better than anyone. And so I really think that the more that we can reach across that aisle, the more we can have that conversation, the better, because we need to pull that in and continue to respect us as one whole community. So in any case, thank you so much. I love you all. And come visit. And Sonoma's going to be just fine. And I can't wait to come back and see all the wonderful things you've done with the community. So thank you. So I guess I've got to give this gavel up to Madeline. I hardly need, Gavel, I hardly knew ye because it was immediately taken from me and we went to the Magic Club. So here you are, my dear. Thank you. Enjoy. And,
And my last words to you, I ain't mad at you.
okay, good.
You're not gonna close
That's a
this out with
Tupac
clap?
song, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll turn over my iPad and my gun and my badge, and we'll.
This is me.
head out.
This is my
That's yours.
dummy
That's yours.
sheet.
You get the dummy sheet. All right. Thank you so much. I've got Mary's Pizza waiting at home, so we're gonna head out and have a little fun. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Jack. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's your car. Oh, good. Good. Thank you, Madeline.
Good job.
Have a break.
Thank you. Hi. I'll be up there.
Good. Please come visit.
Because my relatives are close.
In the jail there?
Amy. He's dead.
Oh, I get that too.
Yay. So I'll give you all a chance to say your goodbyes or congratulations to Logan. We're taking a 5-minute break. Boy, that's fun to do that the first time. and I'm going to pull up my agenda. There it is. I believe, well, that was fun, wasn't it? Doggone it, now we get to the serious stuff. So I believe we've left off with presentations 3.1, and I think Ann Dubé will be making a presentation. Is she on?
She's on Zoom. So
Zoom.
You should, if your things are still on, you should be able to see her.
Hi, this is Ann Dubé, and I am just now sharing my screen. Let me just get this a slideshow here.
Success.
So hopefully you all can see that. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me tonight. And I know I do feel like after the great goodbye to or ex-Mayor Harvey, I guess, former Mayor Harvey, this is kind of maybe a slightly more boring topic, but my name is Ann Dubé, and I'm the administrator of the Sonoma Valley Groundwater Sustainability Agency, and we have been invited to give you a very brief update tonight on the GSA's progress and its findings. And so basically what I wanted to talk to you about is just answer really 4 questions, which is, have any groundwater problems been identified? How can they be fixed? How much will it cost, and what's next, and how can I find out more? So first, a little background. The GSA was created in 2017 as a result of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, or SGMA, which became law in 2015. And the GSA was created by a joint powers authority that includes the city, the county, Sonoma Water, Valley of the Moon Water District, North Bay Water District, and Sonoma RCD. And the decision-making board is comprised of elected or appointed officials, including Councilmember Deng from the city of Sonoma, and it's chaired by Supervisor Gorin. So in addition, the basin has an advisory committee. A lot of the members are pictured there on the screen slide on the left that provides stakeholder feedback. So SGMA basically has 3 steps. The first one was to create the Groundwater Sustainability Agency, and we're now focused on the second step, which is developing a groundwater sustainability plan that details the issues and concerns with local groundwater, and that includes a roadmap for how these concerns will be addressed. And so now I'm going to get to the first question, which is, have groundwater problems been identified? And unfortunately, yes. Past studies have shown that groundwater levels are declining in Sonoma Valley. And the water budget that the GSA is doing as part of the groundwater sustainability plan confirms this, showing that in the current period, which is that little table on the left, you can see that in the basin, the groundwater levels or groundwater storage is declining by about 900 acre-feet annually. And those kind of more complicated graphs on the right, the bottom one shows, the green line shows storage and what is happening over time, that it's gradually decreasing because we're losing groundwater storage on average every year, although there's spikes in some of those blue years when you can see the blue years are the wet years, and you can see that the groundwater levels increase annually during those years, but then they drop in the yellow drought years or even the white normal years. So the projected water budget, which is looking ahead 50 years into the future, is right now being fine-tuned, but it's expected that these declines will continue. So the next question that I posed is, how can this be fixed? And the groundwater sustainability plan must include projects and actions to ensure that sustainability is achieved by 2042. So the GSA is currently in the process of modeling those projects and actions to see if and how much they can help improve groundwater conditions, particularly groundwater levels and groundwater storage. So we're basically looking at 2 types of projects. The first group, which are the simpler projects, are things like voluntary water conservation programs for domestic and agricultural well users, things similar to what the city has been doing for a long time with its urban water users. Also stormwater and gray water projects, and the goal is to increase or to reduce water use by domestic users by about 20% and by agricultural users by about 10%. The second set of projects, and one of the other projects in that first grouping is to expand the use of recycled water storage, particularly in the wintertime when we have a lot of recycled water available. The second set of projects, or group 2 projects, are more complicated. Those are ones that require additional planning, environmental work, and capital type of projects. For example, one project that holds a lot of hope is something that Sonoma Water and the city did a joint pilot together in 2019 that involved delivering drinking water from the Russian River and injecting it into an old City of Sonoma well. And the purpose of that project was to determine if drinking water negatively affected the groundwater or nearby wells, which it did not. So this type of project, known as aquifer storage and recovery, could be done at a much larger scale in areas where the groundwater is depleted. But that's a group 2 type of project. So the third question is, how much will this cost? And unfortunately, the answer to that is we don't know yet. We're currently working on a 5-year implementation budget, which will be completed this summer. And we'll also be beginning a rate and fee study this summer to analyze the options for funding the agency beginning in July of 2022. So most of you may not remember, but the cost of developing the plan, the first 5 years of the GSA, which includes this development of the groundwater sustainability plan, are funded by member agencies, including the city, and we've received a lot of grant funding, more than $2 million to develop the GSP and to also put in some large monitoring wells. We're committed to aggressively seeking grant funding to help pay for the costs of implementing the plan. However, groundwater users, potentially including the city, will also likely pay some fees to help cover the costs of implementation in the future. And that's what that rate and fee study will be looking at. So the final question is what's next and how can I find out more? And the GSA is holding a virtual community meeting on June 23rd, 5:30 p.m. on Zoom. And of course, you're all welcome to attend that. And the draft groundwater sustainability plan will be released late summer, early fall. And we hope that the city will provide comments on that. We are providing, we're releasing sections as we go along. And so those have been available online. And of course, anytime any of you would like to make comments on those, you're welcome to. The final groundwater sustainability plan is due to the state on January 31st of 2022. And if you want to learn more, you can always, of course, talk to Councilmember Dang, sign up for monthly updates, and we are happy to provide future updates to the council. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Now, are there any questions or comments from our council at this point? Yes.
So I remember when this first came up that they were talking about regulation of private wells. Is there a horizon for when we think that regulation of private wells would occur? Or what is the status of that?
So the GSA has the authority to monitor private wells, and it doesn't have the authority to meter private wells, at least not smaller domestic wells. And so they're currently not looking at any type of metering of wells at this point. The other kinds of regulatory stuff are primarily now in the hands of the county in terms of well drilling and well permitting, and we don't see any near horizon change in that at all.
Thank you very much.
Are there any questions from the council?
I want to say thank you, Anne, for your leadership for the valley's groundwater and the situation. That is very important. That is for our futures. And right now we are going to do some of the planning already. It's not in the 10 years, 20 years. We are doing the 50 years. And we treated and groundwater just like oil. Yeah. So I appreciate your support and thank you again.
So I have a question. If you remember, I'm the oldest one around, but I remember the song, the hip bone's connected to the knee bone's connected to the ankle bone. Could you tell me aquifer, groundwater, wells, how does that work?
If I think I understand your question, and so in Sonoma Valley, we've really identified two levels of aquifers, and the aquifers aren't like underground lakes. They're areas under the ground where the rock and sand and gravel allow water to flow and to be stored. And there's really kind of two levels. There's the deeper aquifer, and then there's the shallower aquifer. And most residential wells go into that shallower aquifer. They're pumped, they're drilled down, and they pull water out of the aquifer. The deeper aquifer is where you would see production wells, like from the city and Valley of the Moon wells, and also some agricultural wells go down into that deeper aquifer. And so in total, those two aquifers create kind of the groundwater storage, and wells pull the water out of storage, and the aquifer is recharged through water that comes down through rain, through the creeks, through the mountain fronts, provide a lot of recharge into the aquifers. Is that what
Yes,
you were getting?
absolutely. That's what I was looking for. May I ask you, should I take this out to the public for comments? Thank you so much. Oh, I love this part. I'll take this out to the public for any comments. Or is there anyone online or anything? I'll bring it back, and I believe we're just accepting this presentation. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you.
For the record, Madam Mayor, I want to thank Bob and Rebecca because that one worked perfectly. That's how it's supposed to be. So knock on wood, this will continue. Thank you.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yay,
Ann.
Ann, you passed the test. We passed your test. Thank you so much. So I believe, Colleen, do I call you up now, or I wanted to know, we're finished? Okay, because I see your name here. Okay, well, I think this is the only presentation we're gonna do. And at this point, so now we're on to the regular calendar. 4.1, discussion, consideration, and possible direction to staff regarding potential Broadway safety improvement and potential restriping request for Caltrans considered as part of State Route 12 pavement rehabilitation project currently under construction. Public Works Director, oh, that's you. Here we are.
Could I ask a quick question about the agenda? So, sorry, Colleen. So normally, or previously, we did the consent calendar first, and then the mayor would say if anybody wants to change the order of the agenda, do it now, but that isn't part of it. But it doesn't make any sense if the consent.
Different.
It's different, but can we change the order of the agenda now?
You can always do that.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm wondering,
Where is it?
I had to talk to the city manager about continuing the budget item to a later date because I had a number of questions about it. And also I thought that it was such a long agenda, I would rather have a meeting where we only primarily dealt with the budget. So I would like to switch the order of the agenda, have that vote on continuing it first, so that people who are here for the budget don't wait only to find out that it might be continued. So I would like to make a motion to change the order of the agenda to move.
Continue it?
To move, do I have to move it first, or can I continue it? Somebody tell me the procedure, I don't know.
So this is the budget item is a public hearing, so you would, I think the best way to do it would be to make a motion to continue the public hearing associated with item 5.1. I don't think you have to mess with the order of the agenda per se. And go ahead and move that, please, to June 21st.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I second. Yeah, you already promote
Do we
a
need-
motion.
But we're not.
Put
do we
it
take public, we can, so he's saying we don't need to change the order of the agenda to make the motion, is what Dave just said.
Yeah, I think it's 2 steps when 1 step is fine.
Do we wait until we get to it? Or
But
do we
I'm
do it?
saying, do it now so that if anyone's waiting for the budget, they don't sit here just to find out it's continued.
So I have a, oh, sorry.
Do we need
Oh,
public
I'm-
comment on? Oh.
You do, you need to ask if there's public comment on whether they want you to continue to the.
Okay, so I'm bringing forward the topic of continuing the budget to June 21st. Sorry, June 21st, so that we can have sufficient time to dig in deeply, and that is what I would like to do.
Okay, so we've,
So
do we
public
wait
comment
for the
on that.
motion and second after we come back?
I already second.
Okay, I
And
just
then-
wanted to make sure, and
yeah.
then we'll go out to the public.
Yeah.
Is there anyone here from the public that would like to speak on the approval, a continuance of the fiscal year budget 21-22, City of Sonoma? No one at this point, I'll bring it back.
Okay, so I made the motion to continue item 5.1 to the
June
June
21st.
21st, and Jack seconded it.
Yeah.
If the mayor wants to call for a roll call.
Roll call? Yes. Councilmember Barnett?
Aye.
Councilmember Dean?
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington?
Aye.
Mayor Agramonte?
Aye,
Thank you. The motion carries 4-0.
thank you.
Thank you for that, sorry. Madam Mayor, please continue.
So where am I continuing?
So now we would go to 4.1.
Okay. All right, that's what we were doing. Okay, so we're on to discussion, 4.1, discussion, consideration, and possible direction. Did I reread this?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so I think I have a Public Works Director, City Engineer, I have Fergie. You know I have a problem that doesn't roll off my tongue.
Oh, but Frank Henry, yes.
Frank Henry.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Agramonte, members of the council. I go by Fergie because there's another Colleen in Public Works, but my
I
full
know.
name's Colleen Ferguson, Public Works Director, City Engineer, as you said. And Rebecca is inviting Frank Penry to the panel so that he can answer any questions that council may have about traffic engineering related to Broadway. So as you described, this item is about Broadway and safety of people traveling along Broadway and crossing Broadway, especially on foot. We'd had numerous conversations about Broadway in the past that are described in the staff report in background. But then April 17th, 2021, a pedestrian was hit crossing Broadway. And the pedestrian was severely injured. The dog she was walking was killed, and it really brought the public's focus back on Broadway and Broadway pedestrian safety in particular. So the council, through the city manager, requested a conversation about Broadway. And so here we are to talk about 3 potential Broadway safety improvements for council to consider. And I'm just referring to the staff report. Don't have a fancy presentation to do, but the staff report covers it pretty well. So one option that we've considered before and is presented in the staff report through some cross sections is the possibility of narrowing the pedestrian crossing distance on Broadway between MacArthur and Napa Street, so that instead of having 2 travel lanes each direction, for the most part there'd just be 1 travel lane each direction with the center turn lane retained. And the queuing distance for the left turns, as Highway 12, going north on Broadway, it turns onto West Napa. And so there's a lot of left turns that happen at that location, a high need for cars to queue, waiting for their turn to turn left at that busy Broadway Napa intersection. So we retain all that queuing distance and the second lane for people to go straight through to City Hall or to take the right on East Napa Street. So that's a proposed option for council to consider, is for the city at this point to request that Caltrans, as part of the pavement project that just started a little bit ago, after they finish all the preparatory work, go through, pave out the pavement that's there now, or grind out the pavement that's there now, put new pavement, new stripes are going to go down on Broadway. Right now, the plans call for Broadway to be restriped essentially the way it is now. So if after that paving is done, the city wants to ask Caltrans to put the stripes down differently to shorten the pedestrian crossing distance, have some bike lanes and buffer areas, other things that could come with that, that's something that we could request that Caltrans consider. Caltrans would require us to do some traffic analysis and present that to Caltrans to convince them and have in their records that if they did restripe Broadway in the way we're considering, that it wouldn't cause more traffic problems on Broadway. Based on my understanding of the history of how Broadway got to have 2 lanes each direction, and also as you look at Highway 12 continuing on West Napa Street and all the way through the Springs until you get to Santa Rosa, where there's a much higher population using Highway 12, there's 1 travel lane each direction on Highway 12. And my understanding of how we got to have 2 lanes each direction for this section of Broadway is it used to have diagonal parking along the highway. And there was a Safeway, I guess, and that's where the parking was for Safeway. And then Caltrans did a study and decided that it wasn't as safe as it could be to have diagonal parking along the highway. And so the way they translated that space for diagonal parking into the highway was to add an extra lane, extra travel lane each direction. So at no point was it, oh wow, we have so many cars traveling on Broadway, we need 2 lanes each direction. That wasn't how we got 2 lanes. It was just to replace the diagonal parking with something different. So that's one of the options. With all this, we need to keep in mind Broadway. It's Broadway to us. It's the main street. It's the last block of the El Camino Real and all that. And it's a state highway. So whatever we think we might want to see there, it really does come to us presenting that to Caltrans and them making decisions as far as their right-of-way. So that's one option. Another option that is in the CIP budget that council will consider next meeting is a project that would add safety enhancements to pedestrian crossings of Broadway. The way the project is described, there's 4 different locations where those pedestrian safety enhancements would be included. They're described as highly visible enhanced pedestrian crossings to increase pedestrian safety at marked crosswalks. So this includes places where we have some in-ground lights now at Patton and France Andrix. Those will be coming out with the highway, with the paving project. And also adding an enhanced crossing at Malay Street, that north end of the high school area where a lot of students like to cross Broadway. And then the last is a proposal to relocate the existing crosswalk at Clay Street that kind of goes into our roadside ditch between the highway and Traintown. That the staff is suggesting moving that crosswalk north to the north end of Traintown and adding curb ramps, so one on the west side, one on the east side, putting a crosswalk there with an enhanced pedestrian safety feature at that location, and not having the one that's there now at Clay Street. So those are parts and pieces of this potential Broadway pedestrian safety project in the city's capital improvement program for the next fiscal year. The cost of that is estimated at $232,000, so that's a significant amount of general fund expenditures, but it would be for Broadway safety at these 4 locations. And that would complement and could happen with Broadway restriping or stand on its own if the paving project went through as it is on the plans right now. And then the last option is to just kind of wait and see what happens with the Caltrans paving project. They'll finish the paving project. Their goal is really to finish it this fall and do the paving before we get into the winter season. So they'd finish the paving, they'd put the striping back much the way it is now. The crosswalks would go back with higher visibility markings on the streets, additional street markings approaching the sidewalks, higher visibility signage to enhance those pedestrian crossings. So those are the three options for council discussion and direction to staff on how you would like us to proceed regarding Broadway safety and particularly for pedestrians crossing Broadway. As I explained, hopefully Frank Penry is on Zoom. And so if you have traffic engineering kind of questions, our traffic engineer for the Broadway project, Frank Penry with GHD, is available, and I'm available for any questions council may have.
So I think at this point, I'd like to ask the council if they have any questions. I'm sure you do. Yes.
Okay. My first question is, and I spoke to the city manager about this, that I know that it is obviously technically possible for Caltrans to accept a new striping program, but are they willing to do that? So that's the first question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Can I take them one at a time so I don't have to
Yeah.
talk about okay. I had a great conversation with staff from numerous parts of Caltrans this afternoon. And the bike ped planning folks love the idea. They're highly supportive. Conceptually, all of Caltrans is highly supportive of multimodal transportation. The person responsible for construction of the paving project said, yeah, if it gets approved and it's on the plans, that's how I'm going to build it. He had no opposition to it at all. The traffic operations folks were the ones that were very clear on, we need the traffic engineering analysis done, we need that submitted to Caltrans, we need to review it, but if we don't see any problems with it, they don't have a problem with it moving forward.
Okay, so even though the striping has been bid, they're willing to do a change order with the contractor and change it to what we want, if it is a safe, suggestion.
Yeah, if
That's
the traffic
correct.
engineering plays out through their review of the analysis that we pay for and provide to them, I think the next step after the traffic engineering was completed and approved would be to, again, at the city expense, look at the cost of the proposed striping versus the bid cost for the existing striping, and then have a conversation. Is there enough capacity in their budget for the project to take, I'm sure it will cost more to do the striping that could be proposed. So there would be a conversation at that point. Can they bear that extra expense, or would they ask the city to bear that extra expense?
Okay, so there could be a change, but we don't know that Caltrans is willing to absorb additional cost.
Right.
Okay, and then my next question is, thank you. When we first started looking at this, there were, and maybe I'm just not seeing the presentation correctly, but we had a variety of options when we selected to repave it the same way, but these are different than the original options, or they're the same? They're different.
Well, there were three options that were really discussed in the big, Broadway restriping conversation. One was to have the 2 lanes each direction and squeeze in a bike lane on each side as best we could. The other was to have 1 lane each direction and a class 2 bike lane, so where the bikes are next to the cars. So you've got the sidewalk, you've got the parked cars, you've got the bikes, you've got the moving cars. This proposal is to have the protected bikeway. So there's the sidewalk, the bike lane, a buffer, the parked cars, and then the 1 lane each direction. So that was one of the options that was considered prior.
So I have 2 questions about it. Sorry to do so many questions, but 1, why aren't all of the original options available? And 2, when we saw those options, I guess I assumed that they had already undergone some traffic analysis before we were going to select one. Is that inaccurate, or do I not? I figured when we saw them the first time and it was presented to the public that all of them were viable and had been studied, but is that accurate or not?
That is accurate. They were all studied. We had traffic engineers. Frank can speak to all this if we want. Analyze it, knew it was safe, that it met all the design requirements and all that. What didn't happen was the synchro modeling of the number of cars and all that, because no one saw the need for it, frankly.
Okay.
But the traffic operations folks at Caltrans want that in their files.
I see.
If they're gonna change the striping, they want that in their files, that's it.
Okay, so then my last question is, why are we not going with the original options and doing these instead?
The original options are all open to the council. My understanding was there seemed to be a preference for the protected bikeway that actually gives, because the focus right now is on pedestrian safety. So with the, what we call the protected bikeway version for the options before, it means a pedestrian can leave the sidewalk, cross the bike lane, get into a buffer area, which is where there's cars parked along the rest of it, but right there where you're crossing, there's a buffer area. If there were pedestrian activated flashers or something, they could be at that location, very close to where the moving cars are. So it's the optimal for pedestrian safety. That's why that's the one that's in this package, but any of them are available.
Okay, oh, sorry, real last question was, what is the last date to tell Caltrans to provide them the information they wanted in order to do a different plan? What is the last date?
We have not talked about that kind of schedule. It's rare to come to someone like Caltrans at this point where the project's already bid, it started construction, and ask for a change. The longer it takes to ask them to make a change, the harder it's going to be.
Okay, great, thank you so much. Sorry I had so many questions.
Councilmember Barnett?
Thank you, Vice Mayor Agramani. You said that a traffic analysis will be required if we do want to change the striping. Do you have any idea how much that would cost?
I know I've asked Frank Penry to have that ready for me tomorrow. If council wants us to pursue that option, Frank might be able to give a rough estimate for that.
It would be nice to know sort of generally ballpark before we probably move forward with the decision.
Yeah, we'll ask Frank that.
Overall, these three options, and which one is economically cost less? Three options, we in the city needed to take responsibility. Which option, and we pay the less money?
Well, the wait and see option is a lower cost to the city.
Do we have any carryover from the previous years for that budget, or we needed to start a new budget?
We need to start a new budget.
Thank you.
But I can add something to that as far as depending on the cost estimate. We do have funding in every fiscal year budget, thanks to council approval of budgets for a certain amount of engineering services. So I would expect that we would be able to cover the cost of the traffic analysis, synchro analysis through funds that are already in our budget.
Right now, we are in the reviewing the New Year's budget. Yes, later on, I want to send you an email, ask more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. I have just a question. This is the question I always ask, and maybe there's a new word for it, but do we have models that you have, the traffic models for Broadway?
Not right now. The city does not have a specific traffic model for Broadway. That's what
Okay.
Caltrans will require if we
All
want
right.
to do
So
something
I
different.
think we have a gentleman here. Would he have?
I have one more
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm sorry, no, I should have asked it earlier. Colleen, I want to say 15 years ago, maybe, 5th Street West between Napa Street and Andrew Street used to have 2 lanes in either direction. And in a similar project to this, it was reduced to one way either direction with bike lanes. Do we have any data on whether that decision in our town improved safety, just based on accidents or pedestrian issues that we could point to?
That's an excellent question, and I don't have that data. Frank has been doing traffic engineering for the city for longer than I've been city engineer, so he may have some insight into that.
I mean, it just sort of occurred to me, and I assume we don't have the data right now, but I think that would be an interesting sort of question to ask and try to study.
Yeah, we certainly have accident data for the last 5 years and could look at that.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, Fergie. May I ask, the gentleman that's on the phone, is he someone that could answer the models question and or the other question that Kelso has asked?
I think it would be appropriate to ask Frank to respond to any of the questions that have been posed and see if he can provide more insight.
So I think at this point, I think that would be great. We can do this before we go to public. Okay, thank you. If you might be able to share some thoughts with it.
Good evening, council. This is Frank Henry.
Excellent.
Oh, good, it's working. With regard to the modeling, that is exactly what the council or Caltrans is asking for. There has been analysis through the years. Your general plan has analysis of the intersections, both the controlled intersections, the always stop at Napa and Broadway at the north end, and the MacArthur Broadway at the south end of the proposed safety improvements. Both of those intersections actually will not change in configuration. So the analysis that was done for your general plan is actually still consistent with the project. What Caltrans does is they, in the risk assessment and approval process, is to really relook at the situation. What they asked for is new traffic counts or more recent traffic counts. Your general plan model was done with, I believe, it was approved in 2016, so the data may be prior to 2016. Given the last year of shelter in place with the COVID, what we're in the process, based on the decision tonight, would be to determine whether or not new traffic counts would be performed if we believe that traffic volumes along Broadway have returned enough. We could get out there and count that data almost immediately. Or we look back to other data sources and try and get something that's hopefully prior to, or that would be prior to March of 2020. I'm looking at those sources right now to see what's available. I don't have that answer right now, but that is the root of the Caltrans approval process, is really just getting that model to understand, as we know, the nodes or the ends of the improvements. There'd be no change to the roadway configuration at those ends. There'd still be 2 lanes going northbound and southbound at MacArthur. There's still a 2-way left turn lane or a left turn pocket along the segment from MacArthur to Napa, and northbound at Napa, there would be the left turn and the through right turn movement. So at those nodes or controlled intersections, there's no proposed changes there. It's really just putting the whole thing together and getting those intermediate intersections.
Thank you.
Hopefully that answers the model.
Sure, and I think there were other questions. Or those just that was the one that was pertinent?
I had one that a person was emailing me who's following this issue from home, and she wasn't able to get on the Zoom. She's saying that we don't have an amount for this study yet, but she's saying that she believes the council should be aware that private folks are willing to donate to fund 100% of that. That's what Claire Solot is asking me to say.
Well, that sounds good. I mean, I have a bag with me right now. Thank you. Jack, do you have a question, or we're ready to move on?
I don't have.
We are taking it out to the public now.
And I'll step back just to keep the focus on the public and as they're addressing.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
My name's Jean Louise Camus, and this is my daughter Charlotte Boynton. And we cross Broadway often at pretty much all the crosswalks. And we just, pardon? There we go. My name's Jean Louise Camus, my daughter Charlotte Boynton, and we cross Broadway often at all the crosswalks. And I just would like to urge you guys to do something soon, before she goes to college, at least, please. I know money is a consideration, but lives have no prices. So I would really urge you guys to take advantage of this opportunity. The striping is not permanent. It can always be repaved, but lives can't be replaced. So I would really urge you guys to consider this opportunity that we have right now to repave or to restripe with some bike lanes. My son bikes, she'll bike soon. and just let's be progressive and follow the best practices that have been put before you. These aren't pulled out of the sky. These are tried and tested. So that's all we have to say. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry I didn't bring any adorable babies. Mark Bodenhammer, I'm speaking as a resident, not on behalf of the chamber. I just wanted to share the combination of two crosswalks that are near the post office and Pete's and what is that, Patton Street. It seems a little bit redundant, and the swirl of activity in that little section of Broadway is, it honestly terrifies me. I do a lot of my calls kind of pacing out in front of the chamber, and I can see that area, and I can't tell you how many times I see people walking across there and cars just not paying any attention and slamming on the brakes at the last minute. I have, panic attacks every other week watching those intersections. If there's any way to consider consolidating those two crosswalks into one, I think that might reduce some of the confusion. The post office traffic, for whatever reason, people always seem to be in a hurry when they're coming in, and they really whip in and out of that parking lot. And I think maybe the northern crosswalk makes more sense, but obviously that's probably a Fergie question, someone smarter than me. But I would recommend potentially eliminating one of those two. They're about 100 feet apart, and I'm not sure why there are two crosswalks there. So.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Dixon. I'm a resident of Sonoma for about 25 years. I believe 100% the focus should be on pedestrian safety. And I'll explain in a minute why I believe the striping is not particularly a useful vehicle, and what we really need to do is move forward with the traffic signals that we've talked about. The current Broadway striping project's been talked about for the last 2 years within this council. In fact, 66% of the Sonoma residents that responded to the survey rejected it. The striping, the different lanes. This proposal is very similar to that, and we need to focus on pedestrian safety quickly. Reducing to single lanes doesn't necessarily slow the traffic down. There have been several studies done, as you mentioned, on 5th Street. I don't believe we went to a single lane. I drive 5th Street. The traffic hasn't slowed down. They're still driving 45 miles an hour. Same thing on Napa and Spain Street. The very similar proposal to this has been proposed by Oakland. They actually implemented a lot of these same ideas. And guess what? It was in the news this last week that the Oakland DOT wants to rip out the lanes on Telegraph Avenue that are very similar to this proposal. When you have a single lane, which is being proposed, when people want to park their car, they want to parallel park. What do they have to do? They have to stop in the same lane and then parallel park. Same as when they want to get out of the car. Now they're slightly interfering with a single lane, which probably will cause people to drive illegally into the other lanes. I read the DOT report that was referenced in the article about traffic, they call it traffic calming, how to calm traffic. They don't talk about single lanes. They talk about speed bumps, chicanes, traffic circles. Those are all things that slow traffic down. Reducing the width of the highway by 20 feet is not going to prevent people from getting knocked over. So my suggestion is what we really need is what Caltrans committed to a while back, was installing the Hawk traffic system or the pedestrian hybrid beacon. Now these are not cheap, they are expensive. That is a real solution that if you go online you will see for a wide Broadway will prevent, the studies have showed, better than 70% improvement in pedestrian accidents. And I hate to say, yes, they're not cheap. They're probably more expensive than this cheap striping project, which I don't believe will really make any change. And I sincerely hope we don't have another accident, but if this is an expensive option to accelerate these Hawk systems that have been proven, then they'll certainly be a lot cheaper than any kind of litigation we have in the future. Thank you, and I appreciate your comments.
Good evening, Mayor Egramonte, members of the council, staff.
I knew that was you, that you thought you were in disguise.
Long time no see. Now we're really back.
Tom Conlon here. I spoke on this topic last year, representing the Sonoma Valley Climate Coalition. We have not spoken of it, so I'll speak on make my own comments tonight. It's encouraging to hear Mr. Dixon speak in favor of pedestrian safety in this route. My recollection of his comments previously were that he didn't want to change the gateway to the city, and I think the tragedy that we've experienced on Broadway has really brought all of us to appreciate the need for improved pedestrian safety. So I'm very glad that the council has brought this back before us tonight. We've really seen an uptick in traffic collisions all over the state in the COVID period. There was less traffic, speeds increased on these roads because the roads are wide, and that is what does drive speeds. And speeds lead to interactions between cars, bicycles, pedestrians, and other types of users. Mr. Penry at GHD has done the analysis. We had a lot of information in front of us. The road diet has been in the general plan for quite some time. I'm quite confident that our city staff, Fergie and her team, have looked at this properly, and I'm encouraged to hear that Caltrans is prepared to move forward. Jack, Mr. Councilmember Ding, you did ask a very important question about the cost. What is the lowest cost option here? I believe Fergie answered correctly that it is waiting and seeing would be our lowest short-term cost. However, the longer term, I think we really should take advantage of Caltrans's money here. The opportunity to paint the stripes properly, at least for this interim period, is an opportunity that we should not miss. And that if we do decide to go back later and do something, even the hawk signals as Mr. Dixon has proposed, any of those options we can look at for additional capital improvement program monies in the future. So once again, I'm glad we brought this back tonight, and I look forward to your decision tonight. Thank you very much.
Are there any other comments from the public, or do you have anyone online?
We could start with Sinjin Bain. He's in.
Hi, I hope you guys can hear me. It's unclear whether you can or not.
We can.
We can.
Oh, terrific, terrific. First of all, I'd like to thank all the council members for having the primary focus on safety for residents. And I'd really like to thank Dave Kiff and Colleen Ferguson for the incredible materials, the detail that we've been able to review in advance of the meeting. The materials really make it clear that the 3-lane traffic approach is the right approach. The data on speed reduction, safety reduction in a 3-lane approach is outlined in Section A of the summary, and then also combining it with the additional safety parameters, signs, lights, other strategies outlined in Section B really provide the best safety for residents and drivers from everything I can see in the documentation. It's really been well thought out. I strongly urge council to take action tonight and adopt the truly prudent and logical approaches outlined in A and B under the summary for the safety of all residents. And again, thank you for bringing this back. This is really important to the city and to the residents. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, may I ask the caller, did you say A and B as in boy or D as in dog?
Oh, well, it's B as in boy because there's no D as in dog.
Well, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. A and B, primary focus on A, of course, and then adding B as possible with budgets and money.
Do we have any other comments? Okay, thank you.
Bringing in Scott Drummond.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes?
Oh, great, great. Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'll be brief. I'd just like to echo what the previous caller said, and now is the time to act. We appreciate you bringing this back for consideration. But I think that, long story short, 2 lanes go into the plaza on all streets except Broadway. And having Broadway reduced to be similar to those streets is really just the smart choice. Having our seniors, our families, kids, really anybody coming into town have to navigate a 4-lane road at any point is just ridiculous. We have a very quiet, community-based pedestrian environment for people to enjoy. Broadway should be the same as these other streets. No life is worth getting to the plaza 30 seconds faster or finding a parking space a block closer. Let's make a smart choice tonight and do what's right for the safety of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Drummond. May we have your address, please?
Yes, I'm at 1348 East MacArthur.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Penry, I'm sorry. I'm closing public comments and I'll bring it back to us. I have a question. Years ago, I don't even know when that was here, I was on the council, but there was a gentleman that brought forward continental striping. And we were continentaling all over the place. And then I don't see it anymore. I don't even know if it's relevant anymore, Mr. Penry. And Fergie.
Yeah, Vice Mayor Agramonte, I can respond that the city does have continental crosswalks as our city standard crosswalk because of this citizen that you mentioned that was adamant about having continental, because it is, studies have shown that it's safer than certainly the 2 marks. When Caltrans talks about highly visible crosswalks, that's one of the forms of highly visible crosswalk.
That's good. Thank you so much. I thought, did I imagine this? I'm glad I remembered. So I don't know if anyone else has comments or questions at this point. That would be great.
If that's all right. I guess I obviously appreciate the comments and desire to make Broadway safer, and so I want to acknowledge that, and I agree with what everyone has said about the pretty obvious dangers of crossing Broadway. I am sort of concerned about the process in that we made 3 options. We did extensive public outreach on those 3 options. All of them were rejected by the public, and we had a lot of responses. And now we have new options which haven't been discussed in the same way that the original ones were, except for one. We don't know how much it will cost. We have no idea. And we don't know really the traffic impacts based on current traffic counts. So I am having a really hard time trying to make a decision about something that we don't know how much it will cost, and we don't actually have the impacts based on current traffic levels. And I know that the people who live on the streets that are parallel to Broadway talk a lot about how those parallel streets are used as thoroughfare because Broadway has been crowded. So people on 2nd Street East always want more stop signs or speed bumps. People on East Napa Street also want speed bumps. I live on East Napa, so I'm pretty familiar with the traffic there, which is very fast. So I guess I would just say I appreciate the desire and the conversation, but there's so many missing gaps that it feels a little bit irresponsible to me to just say we'll pick one of these options, but we don't know how much it'll cost, and we don't know if it can get done, and we don't know the impact because we don't have a current traffic count, and we suggested 3 other things to the public, and then these aren't them. So I'm interested to hear what other people think about it, but I just have a tremendous amount of questions which are not answered. It's not through the fault of the staff or anything. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm having a very hard time coming to a decision with all of those questions being open.
Councilmember Barnett?
Can I comment on that? Just this isn't an item with a hard resolution before the council to pass or fail a resolution. It's an opportunity for a discussion and give input to staff or direction to staff. So it's at the council's pleasure, but the council could say, we're curious enough about a restriping opportunity that we want to proceed with the traffic analysis. We want to see what the results are. We want to have a conversation, staff to have a conversation with the Caltrans staff to see if the results are something that the Caltrans operations folks would accept. We want staff to work with our traffic engineer to look at the cost difference between the striping that was bid and the striping the city might be interested in, and then bring it back for further conversation with council after we have more answers to the questions. We just don't know if council overall is interested enough to put that effort into getting to that point.
I appreciate that framing of the discussion. I just would add that, so then my question during the question period was, what is the time frame? When is the last time? So it's all the questions I ask kind of feed into that. It's like, well, if you only have a week to do it and we got to get everything done, I'm not ready to do it. If we have 3 months, that's a different story. But if we don't know the time frame under which this project would have to be completed and what we have to decide, it's very difficult to make a decision about whether we should proceed or not, because I don't want to spend a bunch of city money when we're running a huge deficit and at the end find out it can't be done, because I think that would be really an irresponsible use of taxpayer dollars. So anyway, those are my comments, but.
Can I respond to that comment as well? Because I think that
I just, those are my comments. I really just, I mean, you can respond, but like, I don't want to argue with you about it. Those are just my thoughts. And
and Councilmember here, I'm not trying to argue at all.
yeah, and I don't want to bicker with you. I kind of just want to hear what the other people's input is on their thoughts.
And as far as the schedule, I think the schedule's the same either way. You know, if the council wants to proceed with the traffic analysis, we'll proceed with the traffic analysis. We'll talk to Caltrans. If the council wants to go full steam ahead with the restriping, we'll start a traffic analysis. We'll have a conversation with Caltrans
So
about
to be
the
clear,
traffic
I'm talking
analysis.
about Caltrans schedule. When is the last time Caltrans will accept a change to the work we want done? Dictates, so if we can't get it done for 6 months and they say, oh, I would have needed it done in the first month, then we've wasted a lot of money.
Yeah, and we don't have that date for sure.
Right, that's what I meant, yeah.
So, Councilmember Burnett.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Egramani. Before I proceed with my comments, does the traffic consultant, can he estimate how much this analysis would cost? I know that neighbors have offered to pay for it. I don't know if that's.
He certainly can. I'm looking at Frank on the
Frank.
screen, but he can't see me probably. So he might have a rough ballpark estimate on that. It would be more expensive if we have to do new traffic counts versus if we have traffic counts already, but he might be able to ballpark this much with traffic counts, this much without them. Frank?
Yes, thank you. With regard to the traffic data, that really is the hardest part for us, is we may have to actually utilize data that's derived from historic sources. My work with the community and GHD, I'd be, a rough number to get something that Caltrans, but the traffic study itself really is a formality for Caltrans approval. My estimate, and this is very rough, but it really comes out of my commitment to not only the city but the project. I'm gonna say $10,000, and I believe the cost of that actually really is trying to mobilize for the traffic counts. If we need to go out there and count, or establish other sources.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. So in general, my general comments echo strongly what Councilwoman Harrington just said. I think we all on this council care strongly about pedestrian safety on Broadway, and I think the concerns are how this process is playing out. This was discussed at council just about over a year ago, through a fairly exhaustive public outreach campaign. One of my primary concerns about this is that I don't know how many people in our community even know that this topic has been is currently being readdressed. And I think the community came out strongly against it. And I think we need to ask why. To be fair, this is part of our general plan. This was passed in our circulation element with, I believe it was 2014 data. And also in the circulation element, I noticed that there was a provision in there that moving forward, because of West Napa Street's traffic counts, there is concern about possibly through the right-of-way adding lanes on West Napa Street. And so, as you said, obviously Highway 12 is one lane either direction throughout town, but even our own circulation element is anticipating widening West Napa Street. My question about 5th Street West, I think, is relevant because this is basically a very similar project to something the city did about 10 or 15 years ago, and I would like to, before we make a decision, know what effect that had on 5th Street West. Obviously, 5th and Studley, there have been accidents in the past. That crosswalk by Safeway has been difficult, and I think from what I understand it continues to be difficult after we have narrowed the street. And so I don't want to make a decision here that will not result in what we want, which is a better pedestrian safety on Broadway. In general, and this is a general point, and I don't want perfect to the enemy of the good here, but I don't really like any of our options. As I said at our last meeting when we discussed this, these are the last 4 blocks of the El Camino Real. This is the most important road in California. It starts in San Diego. It ends right here at our plaza. And as I said previously, our state seems to be flush with cash right now. And in a perfect world, I think Caltrans should really work with our city to create a vision for Broadway. And I remember when the Planning Commission passed that circulation element in 2016, there were discussions about nice median, like bike lanes, but nice medians and little
Bulb outs?
yes, bulb outs, and I remember the time being excited about reimagining Broadway, and why last year I was a little disappointed with the result was it just came down to restriping, and I thought in partnership with the state it should be much more than that. And so my question here is, if we go ahead with restriping Broadway, will we lose the momentum for that? And I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll restripe it, traffic will become a nightmare, the pitchforks will come out, and that will inspire us to reach out to the state. Or maybe we don't do anything, and then pedestrian safety is still, could be improved, and that also provides motivation. I mean, I could see both ways, and I'd like to also see what the rest of the council thinks about that. But ultimately, I'm just very concerned about this process and not having enough information. I am heartened by the fact that Fergie said that we don't necessarily have to make a final decision right now. Perhaps we can move forward with some traffic analysis and get some more answers to some of the questions the council has posed. And ultimately, in the interim, I think it's very important that our community knows that this is back on the table. And but ultimately, pedestrian safety is important to me, and I think there is a way to do this, and I just don't see that being presented right now. And so, before our next meeting, I would like to continue to speak with representatives from, our state senator's office and our state assemblyman's office, and perhaps even our congressman. I hear there are new ways at the federal government to fund some of these projects. And again, as I said at our last meeting for the last time, this is not just a random city street in a random city in California. This is the most historic city in California. It's the last 4 blocks of the El Camino Real. And in my view, I think it deserves, our city deserves, this stretch of road deserves, and our state deserves a much better plan than anything that is being presented. And that is not through no fault of the city staff. This is, in my view, up to the state and Caltrans and us working with our partners in government to really imagine and deliver the kind of Broadway that we deserve. And that Broadway will be, in my view, much safer for pedestrians.
Jack, do you have something you'd like to share?
Oh, yes. I appreciate the other council members and the points, and technically, historically, I believe you totally understand. I would like to say our community is losing their patience. They're losing their confidence for the city council. I continuously received emails, phone calls, even sometimes a walk On the street, somebody will hold me. Are you the Mr. Ding? You are a new council member. I strongly fear, I cannot understand. I don't have any in the face to meet them, seeing what's going on. So here I listen, hear everything. We have the three questions, we need to find out for the next city council meeting. When, how we can do, just three options. You exactly give us three options and how much each one. What kind of difficulties? And then we can make the decision. And to be honest, right now, I cannot make any decision. And because we need to know these kind of 3 W's or 5 W's first. So if you could, speed up a little bit, that means help us and help our community. We just, pass over our community voices to our city council, to our, the professional department like yours. And we should add the same. So if you have difficulties, for example, if you have any communication issues with the couch transportation, and then we can do as advocates or go with you, and push them to speed up a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ding. So does the council think that possibly moving forward with Mr. Penry about analysis and things, or that's not something we're interested in now? We're looking for something more concrete, although I don't know if you can do anything more concrete unless you understand what you're working with. So I don't know, I'm out of my realm right now, but I do love what you said about the legislature. We don't do that enough. It's no one's fault. I just don't think we do it. And we need to we have to be able to get in that and make some sausage like all the big places do. So I guess my question is regarding Mr. Penry.
I guess. Oh, do you want to go?
Well, yeah.
You're mute. Yeah, Frank. Frank, you're a mute.
Well, I was just going to say two things. One, just in terms of investment, I would be willing, and perhaps maybe the rest of the council would be willing to fund a vision for Broadway. And I don't know how much that would cost, but you'd have to probably hire a consultant or something. But we need to sort of create our own vision for Broadway and then go to the state with it. And so I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know how much that would cost. Obviously, we would need to ask some questions here. Clearly, that's not going to happen by the time this project is done. And so that's one issue. In terms of, Mr. Penry estimated it would cost $10,000 for a new traffic counts, new traffic analysis. I would be open to doing that at this point. I don't think it's appropriate. I know the neighbors said they would be willing to pay for it. I don't know if that's common practice, or I don't think that's appropriate. I think this is something the city would have to pay for.
Wasn't there, maybe this is totally wrong, wasn't there a traffic count done in connection with the truck and auto?
Oh, that was part of the...
Didn't we have that? Does anyone remember?
That
do
from
we have the planning
might
director
remember?
on Zoom, maybe?
David's in the other room,
Oh.
I think.
Oh, wow.
Magic.
Ta-da!
We did conduct a systemic safety analysis report in 2017 and may have counts from that as well.
David Storer, isn't it true that you were the best planning director in the county of Sonoma? That wasn't the question. The question is, do you remember for Broadway Truck and Auto, did they do a traffic study on Broadway? Did they do I think they did, right?
That's part of the sequence, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we have kind of a preliminary, I know we have a preliminary, did W-Trans do it?
Yeah, more than likely they did. There'll be an initial study before that, so I can look it up.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can use that data. Is that possible as a preliminary thought?
How old is it?
That was like 2 years old, right? Was it 2 years ago?
It was like 18.
Yeah, I'd say 18.
Mm-hmm.
realistically, remember, you have one last meeting here in June, and then you're dark in July. So the question for Fergie and Frank, and I know this is a hard one to answer, is if we did that study, if we allocated those resources, used hopefully some existing data from Truck and Auto, and we returned to the council for the first meeting in August, does that seem like, Fergie, that's a reasonable amount of time to make a decision to give to Caltrans? You know, it's not months away, it's 6 weeks away, it's 8 weeks away.
I would think if council was interested in enough in still considering a restriping option, if it was just like, we really want a different vision for Broadway, and just, you know, we might add some pedestrian enhancements to a paving project that puts the striping basically the way it is now, or not. That's, again, a council decision. But if you're not interested in getting restriping as potentially as part of the paving project, I'd rather not do all that. There's a lot of other places that consultants and staff can spend their time that may be of more value to council and the community. But if the council's seriously considering that, certainly we could proceed with traffic, you know, getting clear what traffic counts are available, or getting new ones if we need to, doing the analysis, moving forward with the conversation with Caltrans, because doing the analysis is just one step. It needs to go to Caltrans. They need to review it. We need to talk about it and see if it's even acceptable to them, and get to the point where they say, okay, that's satisfied traffic ops at Caltrans, and here's the cost difference and all that. All those conversations can happen without council making a decision, you know, and then we could come back in August with the results of that.
So here's the where I mean, I think we're hanging on to it, but it feels like safety's getting foggier and foggier with reimagining. So I don't know, what does that mean? Can you start it, can we consider one portion if we reimagine everything, but can we consider one portion, possibly the first segment, and then move forward as we reimagine in the future? I don't know, I'm out of my realm right now, but I'm just asking the professionals here. But I think we need to maintain the issue of safety. I have to be honest, I only cross at MacArthur, East MacArthur and Broadway. That's it. I will never cross that street, and I'm just like, just so scared when I see people doing that. And some don't pay attention, you know, but that has nothing to do with it. They have a right of way over cars. So I'm just asking us not to forget the issue of safety.
I guess I would agree with Councilmember Barnett that if I had my ideal fix, it would be a median to shorten the distance for walking across, and maybe some additional traffic lights, and so that people could make it halfway and then make it the other half. I think that would be better and more attractive, so that people didn't have such a long, I mean, even closer to Broadway, it's just it's so wide for people to walk. None of the plans that I saw now or previously particularly appealed to me. I think they did the buffered bike lanes in Novato, and it was not a success there. That was what I heard reported, that it was kind of a failure, so I'm not too excited about trying those, although I don't want to leave it to there being nothing. So if there was a consensus about what to do, I could certainly go along with it, but it's also really difficult for me to conceptualize the plan without looking at anything, and so I'm also just having a hard time visualizing what we're talking about just by having it narratively instead of with the visual. That's not a criticism, that's just a statement about what I feel a little paralyzed myself to take a position.
It seems as if the one thing, that feels comfortable is the median.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to be like possibly step one.
Is that possible?
I'd be willing to cross the street if we did a median.
Yeah, there certainly could be a different visioning process for Broadway. The impetus for starting a conversation with the community and with the council about Broadway was that Caltrans was going to come through and create a new canvas. And it was a time when we could ask for something different to be put on that new pavement in terms of striping. It didn't come from a groundswell of, let's come up with a new vision for Broadway. It was
Right.
like, okay, we're gonna have a blank canvas. What do we want on that canvas? And then, yeah, the community came back with the survey and said, we kind of like it the way it is. And the majority, now 40%, said we'd like a change. So it's really up to council as the elected officials representing the community. And so now we're back saying, okay, now there was an accident. Does council want to reconsider what to put back on that canvas? A visioning process, I think, is a different experience, including, are we going to have, change where the crosswalks are so that people can make left turns and the pedestrians are crossing on the other side where it's not, where a left turn is happening, and create a buffer in the middle for a pedestrian to go part way and stop. And that's a different conversation than what is Caltrans going to put back on the pavement
Right.
after
And
they repave.
I drive on Broadway 3-4 times a day, north-south, and it's interesting, you can't, because there's for me, nothing in the middle, you can't see anything, because there's this huge backdrop of hills, the city hall, traffic left, right, up, down, and everything. You don't see people. I've even watched now people are using umbrellas to cross the street, brightly covered umbrellas. But I don't really see people, so maybe a median with some whatever would provide at least a rest, So, I mean, I don't know, the council can chime in. It's getting late, we need to keep moving, but I think we need to sort of, not call for the question, but we need to get moving.
I think in August, yeah, it's reasonable. Yeah, for me, if you come back, collect all these, confirm the information, and for us, the more,
Yeah.
and then
I guess the question is, I have a feeling the traffic counts are going to come back relatively similar to the previous traffic counts that were part of the general plan that provided the basis for the road diet.
Yeah.
And so, so in August, we're going to have new numbers that'll basically say the same thing. So I guess the question for us is, at that point, are we going to be comfortable with restriping? Are we just punting the decision then, or should we?
An idea for you, you could challenge the staff to do more public outreach so that this wasn't a surprise to anyone by the time it did come back in August. Secondly, we could put our heads together and see, but your idea, Councilmember Barnett, about what would it cost and what would the timeline be for a new look. My brain's telling me it's 3 to 4 years. It doesn't mean don't start now, but you probably have this canvas, as Fergie notes, done in a certain way, and then work on that same longer term process, because you got to secure the funding and get the design approval. And again, it's not impossible. It's been done, and I think it can be done under your leadership. So we could come back in August with that just as an alternative path to kind of get some ideas about timing and cost.
That would be great.
That would be helpful.
Okay. So that, along with the traffic study that Frank and Colleen talked about?
I guess the only thing about the traffic study is now the high school is out, and that's like a big portion of the traffic, I think. So it'll be a traffic study, but then it won't include any of the high school traffic.
But the model brings that all in historically, is that right? I mean, the school isn't like 10,000 one year and 4,000 another. So I don't know, Mr. Penry, you would be able to answer that.
Well, and I can comment from, and can certainly allow Mr. Penry to speak, but the input that I've received is that we're not going to have surprises when we get the traffic numbers and we run it through the Synchro model and share it with Caltrans. It's going to say that there's not a lot of traffic even in the peak hour on Broadway, and that from a traffic modeling standpoint, 1 lane each direction will be fine.
Yeah, I guess the last time we talked about traffic counts, it was like they did them like during the fire on some project. It was like, well, maybe they were reduced when the air was toxic. So I just want to make sure that when the traffic counts are done and we have school is out of session, whatever the model is would take into account that, make sure you get like a day on the weekend, and also, because we've had traffic studies where all that stuff was missing.
So our city manager, are you hearing something?
Let me try and restate it, maybe if someone wanted to put it in the form of a
Alright.
motion. It would be to return the first meeting in August after doing some additional public outreach about this current restriping discussion, but with a couple of things. One would be the data associated with the traffic study that's necessary for Caltrans to review and accept the potential change. And then the other thing would be a preliminary estimate from staff as to what it would take to really redesign and relook at Broadway, both in terms of time and dollars. We wouldn't actually do that design, of course, but we'd come back with the bones
Right.
for what it might take to do it. And you
And
can make a
then-
decision at that point.
And then what would the worst case scenario, or most likely maybe scenario, be for the cost the city would incur for changing the striping? If the
Correct.
state won't eat it,
Correct.
what would be our share?
Councilmember Harrington, it would be what's our reasonable cost of the additional net increase in striping? Yeah. Does that sound reasonable, Frank and Fergie? I see heads nodding. Almost.
It does on the broader question of restriping. The other question is, with or without restriping, is the council interested in having a project in the CIP that would have pedestrian activated, something like a rapid flashing beacon, but not to be so specific about what it would be, but something like that for pedestrians to push a button, have clear indication to cars that they're
And
passing.
that will be in your proposed CIP that you'll talk about on the 21st? Gives you a little bit more time to think about that, but certainly we and staff are encouraging you to execute that CIP item. Guess we could always hold off on the execution after approval until we get good direction in August. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, or it could be part of the CIP. I just didn't
Yeah.
want council
leave it
to
hanging.
forget that that's something out there that could also enhance pedestrian safety for crossing Broadway. It isn't all about restriping.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Kiff, for leading us down the trail, and I think we finished our.
Motion, right?
Do-
Do we need
I-
a motion?
It'd be helpful.
Okay,
I will put to the motion just in the city manager stated.
With
3
Councilmember
points.
Harrington's addition of the net restriping cost, yep.
Yes.
Second.
all right, that's a motion and a second. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye,
Thank you. The motion carries 4-0.
thank you.
Madam Vice Mayor, I want to be careful of the next items. I wonder if you could take item 4.4 next. That's the appointment of the next city manager, and I'm not going to leave
Oh,
after that. But I
okay.
just want to make sure we're all here. And then, and because the Sonoma garbage collectors one might take a little bit more time.
So this 4.2 is the garbage collectors, and where is that?
4.4.
Okay, 4.4, so we'll move on to 4.4. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to adopt a resolution adopting an employment agreement with the city manager, interim city manager, and city attorney. And I go to the city manager.
And Madam Vice Mayor, under new state law, I have to just read you very briefly what the summary of the proposed contract with Mr. Toy. Mr. Toy is in the audience. He was able to come up for the meeting tonight. The contract that's in the staff report envisions an effective start date for Mr. Toy of July 20th. It's a 2-year agreement at the pleasure of the city council, subject to the Sonoma Municipal Code. The base salary is $21,509 with an auto allowance of $500 a month and a contribution to deferred comp, which is $77,501. The one is an accounting thing. Placement in the 2% at 55 CalPERS pension tier. Mr. Toy pays the employee share plus 1% of the employer cost. There's a family health care benefit at no cost to Mr. Toy. There's a severance if there is release without cause. Mr. Toy is entitled to 6 months of base wages. There's a section on leave in the contract, and vacation it's 20 days, sick leave it's 12, admin leave it's 20 days, and then the contract directs that Mr. Toy is subject to other certain terms and conditions necessary and proper as employed as a city manager. So that item is before your consideration.
Thank you, and I understand that the effective date and work start date is July 20.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. Any comments from the council?
Everything is clear.
Oh, just a moment. Kelso.
I just have a quick question and point. During our recruitment process, I discussed with our recruiter that our municipal code, section 2.08.020, says that the city manager within 6 months of his start date is required to live within the Sonoma Valley Unified School District, and if that does not occur, the office becomes vacant. I was told by the recruiter that is illegal per state law. So I'm just throwing that out there, saying obviously that is not required, and perhaps going forward we should update our municipal code to reflect state labor law.
We would agree with that. I'm sure Mr. Walter would as well.
Compliance issue.
And do you have, Jack?
I don't have any, all they've just, and told us we are very clear.
Okay, so I'd like,
Because compliance issue is really, really, important.
all right.
Yeah.
At this time, I'll take it out to the public. Are there any comments from the public? Oh, Mr. Toy?
Yeah.
You were disguised. I didn't even recognize you.
Actually, I don't have any comments other than if you approve the contract, I appreciate the opportunity to work in this great community and really looking forward to working with the council, staff, the community, all the residents and businesses in the coming weeks. So that's it.
Thank
Great.
you very much. Thank you.
We are looking forward.
And are there any other comments? Seeing none, I'm bringing it back to the council for, I think we're looking for to adopt. Where am I?
To approve.
4.4.
Okay.
I guess my quick comment would be, we spent a lot of time looking for a city manager, and how lucky we are that we got Garrett Toy, who applied and is starting here, and he comes from a city that is very similar to Sonoma, I think, and he is incredibly well suited. And I just wanted to share with the public, one of the most impressive things about his interview was how creative he was with short staff. For example, having the police chief in the city of Fairfax also supervise public works, which was incredibly creative and sounded like it worked out well. And I think that's the exact spirit we need here. And I'm so glad that you are willing to come here. And so probably everyone else wants to make a comment too, but I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, and the only thing here is we just
Yeah.
did that. So what, is there anything from staff?
Roll call.
None? Nothing?
Well, I would just briefly would echo Councilwoman Harrington's comments. I'm very excited to welcome Mr. Toy to Sonoma, and I think he'll do a great job. And I think something that made me think we made the right decision was our recruiter, our staff, our department heads, and our leadership team for staff also got to interview all of our different candidates. And from what I understand, they were very impressed with you, as we were, and we're looking forward to you starting. You're gonna have big shoes to fill. Obviously, we all are gonna miss Mr. Kiff, but we look forward to you starting here as well.
So much. So at this point, I'm looking for a motion
I did it.
and a second. Is there a second? Second?
Absolutely.
All right. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington,
Hi.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Welcome, Mr. Toy. Welcome. Let's, okay, now all right.
We could
so-
go back to 4.2 if you'd like.
Thank you. There it is. Oh, those poor guys. There he is, Mr. Wells, sitting out there. You're a brave man. Thank you. So discussion, this is 4.2, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve a resolution approving the Ninth Amendment to the Sonoma Garbage Collectors Contract for solid waste collection within the city, and approve a 21-22 refuse rates. And I'm turning to our city manager.
So I'll be very brief, Madam Vice Mayor and council members. The staff report outlines what is proposed as a 7.53% increase. I know that's important for ratepayers, but it's not nearly. It's still Sonoma's rates are still significantly lower than in neighboring jurisdictions, and everybody is seeing a similar rate increase, primarily to comply with SB 1383, which is the organic composting. Mr. Wells submitted his letter on time, which describes the basis of the rate increase as proposed, and the lion's share is of the ability to appropriately deal with the composting mandate. It's presented for your approval tonight, and yeah, Mr. Wells is here if you had any questions of us.
Thank you so much. Does the council have any comments or questions at this point?
Can I just ask Mr. Wells one quick question? Can you just tell us, and I know before I think our rates went up because we were having such a hard time getting rid of recycling. Could you just update us on that? That nobody would buy it? Is that not true?
Oh, it doesn't even have a light. The recycling markets are improving, as I understand your question. Yes, we had to increase our, we were getting paid for our recyclables 3 or 4 years ago. As of the last 3 years, we've had to go from zero. Now we're paying, I think, $40 a ton. The market hasn't gotten any worse. We expect it to actually get better once we get past COVID and all that stuff. There's a lot of demand. So I expect a better, I don't expect it to get any worse. How
Great, thank you. That's my only question.
All right, thank you. Is there any other comments? None? Bring it back. City Council. Oh, sorry, Tom. I didn't recognize you. Oh, is the microphone on?
I think I will briefly speak on the perspective of Sierra Club, because our statewide Climate and Energy Committee has been working with the Solid Waste Committee, and we are very much in favor of cities around the state taking proactive action to address the compost problem, the fact that our compost is ending up in the landfill and creating methane. I will also mention that I took the draft report that our city sustainability officer put together and shared it with that committee, and I think it was the first city-level document on SB 1383 implementation that had been seen at the statewide level. So Sonoma continues to break ground. And so I will rise in favor of the rate increase here. I do know it is getting expensive to do our tipping here in Sonoma, but the money I think is being well spent. We have staff people now who are really leading the way and getting this going in the state. And certain communities are dragging their feet. They're not really. They're uncertain of the future, and but Sonoma seems to be embracing it in this area, and I want you to feel good about that. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much. Is there anything? Oh, we're still. So I'll close the public comment, and is there anything from staff? Did you hear any questions that you needed to answer?
I have a question.
Oh, all right.
Vice Mayor, for staff. How will this be communicated to the ratepayers? Does Sonoma Garbage Collectors communicate that? Does the city and in that communication, I think it would be very important to let the ratepayers know that this significant increase is due to SB 1383.
It will be. There's a sentence that goes on the first bill that with the rate increase.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Sonoma Garbage Collectors does the noticing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks. No questions, no comments. I think, do we already have a first? No.
Oh, I didn't. Motion to approve the contract amendment.
Second?
I second.
All right, second. So roll call, please.
Councilmember Barnett.
Aye.
Councilmember Dean.
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye, and I would like to share with everyone, Ken Wells, of course, was the executive director of what is now Zero Waste, and advises the Corrados to the best of his ability. I think we benefit from it. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Unanimous. Now we may move on to Thank you, Ken. Go in peace.
We're approaching 9 o'clock. If you needed to take an action or think about anything there.
Does anybody see anything?
We have to just decide if we want to keep doing the rest of the agenda. I think we can.
Yeah, I mean, we have to certainly do the water emergencies.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the rest are short, right?
They should be short.
Well, I'm at 4.3.
So, do we have to make a motion or just discuss?
It doesn't, I don't think it, I think you should start discussing. You want me to, Rebecca and I will introduce this next item?
I think it would be nice to go, for the audience, to go over what the criteria is.
Okay. So on 4.3, this item submitted by the city clerk and myself, this is the process to potentially replace Mayor Harvey. You have two choices. You could, in a general law city like Sonoma, you could fill the seat via a special election. The most likely time to hold that election would be November 2nd of 2021. And that's because state law does not allow you to align it with a recall election, which is a little odd, but it's state law. We can only align it with a regularly scheduled general election, and the only time, the next one is November 2nd. You can also fill a seat by appointment, and then, and if the only requirement is that you pick you appoint a Sonoma resident who is 18 years or old or over and a registered voter. Anything you would add, Madam City Clerk? Okay.
So there's some wiggle room, isn't there? We don't have to make the decision at this moment. Didn't I see something?
You have 60 days from the vacancy, and if Mayor Harvey submits his letter, he stepped away tonight, so that's effectively the start of the vacancy period, which would bring us to, I think I said, August 7th. You'd have to make the decision. You do have one meeting and 2 more meetings where you could.
Do we have to fill the vacancy within 60 days if we go with appointment, or just make the decision on how we proceed? Okay.
I think you need to fill by that date, or be silent and it goes to a special election.
Well, that's a decision,
That would
right?
call a special election.
And so our first meeting in August is within 60 days. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That is yeah, I'm thinking about this, just only in one year, if not possible, and we can continue to appoint, but I think our community also is very active for those kind of candidates. I'm not sure, and also I want to save the money as well. How much roughly if we put a special election, if any, pick back another measure we can put together, or?
Was it 20 to 39,000?
23,000 to 39,000 if it's just the council vacancy.
Also, we don't have any other, measure or we can put together, or, for vote or for candidates.
Should we do public comment and then do discussion, or?
Tom. Is there anyone here from, oh gosh, Tom.
Is there anyone here named Tom Collins?
I'll close that public comment. We'll bring it back. I don't know, I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know.
I guess for me, I was thinking of course, we got a wonderful pick in Councilmember Barnett. I'm so happy to have him on here. That's 10% of our city council previously was not elected. And then with Logan, if we selected for somebody ourselves, then that would mean that 20% of the city council was still 40%. Thank you. 40% of the city council was selected by us. That's a lot. And if I had my druthers, I would prefer for the voters to pick themselves. I don't want to cost the city a lot of money, but I just would prefer for the voters to pick. But the fact that it can't be with the recall, which is already scheduled. What is the difference? Why is it between $3 and $5 per voter?
It's based on the number of items that are on the ballot because it's across what's on the ballot. So the way they calculate it, and it may be different in a special election. When I asked Eva if it was, she didn't say that it was different. Typically on an election, all the items that are on the ballot, the cost gets separated for the cities that are consolidated with the county. So there may be school district measures, there may be on the November 2nd election. And so it gets based on how many voters you have and what's on the ballot.
Okay. So there's some formula based on how everything works out that determines what it is. So then the second thing is, so we can have an election that's just going to cost us money and somebody has to run and they'll be on for a year, and that would solve the problem of us not picking 40% of the city council. Or we can have appointment process and we could allow people to apply again, or we could just select somebody like a former council member and just appoint them. So I guess those are the options.
In a perfect world, Mayor.
No.
Okay. In a perfect world, I know I use that phrase a lot, and I'm fully aware we do not live in a perfect world. But since it would only really be for a year and a few months, it would be great. And I don't know if anyone's watching. If a former council member, someone that has been elected already in this jurisdiction, would be interested in sort of a caretaker role, open to stepping up and serving for the remainder of Mayor Harvey's term, who's done it, who would need no training wheels, that would, I think, be palatable to the public, and I think it would be good for us. The question is, does that person exist that would be willing to do it? And I don't know. And so perhaps between now and June 21st, we can sort of put that out into the ether, see if anyone is interested, and then perhaps on June 21st we can make the decision on how to proceed, whether we do an application that applicants will submit over July perhaps, and then we'll review in August and then make a decision then, or perhaps we can make a direct appointment at our next meeting if that's the pleasure of the council, or if we don't make a decision or we decide to have an election, that would be the last option. That's sort of, I'm just thinking out loud here.
I just have originally I just have a roughly idea, but right now you technically find the reason. This kind of model I think also is community involved. A lot of the community and the people, voters know this kind of issue. Yeah. If nobody answer, even know this kind of candidate interest, and then we can put the election, because we still have the 60 days, right?
I just wanted to add one more thing, more clarity to the mix, hopefully. If you decide to call a special election, you need to do so by July 11th, because the nomination period would open July 12th for the November election. That doesn't mean you can't accommodate that. You can make a decision on the 21st. You could have a special meeting June 30th or July 5th to call that. But I want to correct my misspeaking earlier. You have to call the special election by July 11th.
We have to do it the next meeting.
Unless you had a special meeting to call the special election, which you could do up until the 10th.
So I'm leaning towards Councilmember Barnett's suggestion, looking for someone who possibly had been on a city council. But how do you do that? Everybody else will think, I'll never get this, because they're looking for a council member. How do we make that distinction? It's anybody, and whomever gets in there, it could include a former council member? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I was just speaking out loud that, I mean, my vision would be sort of a someone that would step up, that would be a caretaker, that would step in, would need no training wheels, that the city has already elected, and that would be a former council member. And just off the top of my head, you can go back the last 15 years. There are quite a few former council members still in our community that are still engaged, and that would be potential candidates. The real question is, I don't know if any of them are interested.
We can go and read the Ask a Former Mayor in the newspaper and see who had the best answers. Ask a former mayor, would you serve again?
So in consideration of time, so what I'm hearing is possibly leaning towards what you have suggested, Kelso. Sorry, Councilmember Barnett. So, City Manager, what do you hear from us?
I'm hearing to return with a similar agenda item on June 21st, with the potential that someone will have reached out to you or someone's, and you could potentially actually make an appointment on the 21st too. So I'm not hearing a formal process. I'm hearing bring it back. You could have a name, and if you don't have a name, you could convene a formal process at that time.
Yes.
And then made a decision for special election or not.
You could also do that too, You'd be able to make the similar choices on the 21st.
And I guess the only thing then is if multiple people reach out to us, then we will have to publicly debate which one is the best, which is awkward. But that's fine.
Although you do that in an application process.
You could do that.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess I have a question. I know that when I was appointed to the council, there was something in the state law that said I would serve until the next municipal election. And so if there was a municipal election, I guess the question is, I mean, just part of me is thinking like, well, if there's going to be an election, I wouldn't feel right. I mean, shouldn't I also resign? And then.
I hear what you're asking.
No, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Asking.
Like,
I think.
I understand this, but no election this year.
No, but we would cause a special election to occur that was outside of the normal timing.
And the language says till the next election.
Put Mr. Barnett into the situation where he'd have to.
Yes.
He can only serve until that time.
Interesting question.
We'd have to look at that.
I don't think that would apply.
Well, I would like to look at that. And I will say, if an election is called, part of me would think the right thing to do would be to resign, because we're going to have an election. And I'm just thinking out loud here. And so.
No. I believe that our city council made the right decision.
Well, thank you.
Well,
but the people.
That is true. You know, that you don't need any training. You know much more than I do. That is the. But anyway, also it's a compliant issue. It's a legal issue. Yeah, we need to clarify.
We'll have to check it out.
And we want to, let Barnett to be a full city council member. No any, because we made a decision to appoint it should be in the full.
Mr. Barnett was appointed and not put through a special election to fill the remainder of Councilmember Hundley's term. And that does not expire in November. That expires in 2022. But we'll verify that.
Okay.
And nobody else is allowed to leave this council until 2022. Just so
But you
know.
understand that it's an awkward position for someone who is appointed to then call for an election.
Actually, no.
Because, do you understand? I mean, I'm just talking out loud.
So
Okay.
in consideration for time, so do I need a motion and a second to move forward on this?
No, if I were you, I would not vote on this. I would just say.
It happened.
The staff will bring it back at the next.
All
meeting.
right, and the staff will bring it back to us.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the date, what date were we looking at, or it's not too early to say that?
The 21st is the date we'd bring this back to you, because
Okay,
you do need
thank
to
you.
make a decision on the 21st.
All right, so,
Optimally.
thank you. I'm moving on, and we are passing we did, right? 5.1. We're on to 5.2. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to adopt a resolution declaring a water shortage emergency in the Sonoma area and declaring a stage 1 voluntary conservation water shortage for the city of Sonoma water service area. Oh, poor Fergie. Poor thing, you're still here. Thank you.
So are you. Vice Mayor, Armando, members of the council, think everyone understands we're in a severe drought, and 2 years of drought. Councilmember Ding, as our WAC representative, can certainly speak to that. And I don't want to take more time than necessary. It was well described in the staff report. The conditions leading up to bringing this resolution to council tonight to declare a stage 1 water emergency. It was mentioned at the TAC meeting this morning that Lake Sonoma is at the lowest level it has been since it was constructed in 1986. So that's an indication of how severe the drought is. So we have this stage 1 action before council tonight. Don't be surprised if we're back on the 21st with the stage 2 mandatory action. But we have this resolution before council tonight. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do you have any questions, our council?
Yes, I have a question. Is that standard? Is that the standard process to start with voluntary and then move to mandatory?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I
that
mean-
it is, there's 4 stages, just to elaborate a little bit. There are 4 stages in our current water shortage contingency plan. Those are outlined in the municipal code as well. So the next item is to adopt a new urban water management plan that contains a new water shortage contingency plan that has 6 stages and will compel an ordinance to revise the code to make it consistent.
Okay.
Right now, we got 4 stages, starts with voluntary.
And you've
goes
got to
up from
start
there.
with one. And we have to
You
start with
don't have
voluntary. We
to,
can't
but-
start with 2.
Well, what's before council tonight is 1.
Okay.
That's all you can do.
All right. Thank you.
Any, do you have any questions?
I was like, it's like the 4 stages of grief.
Jack,
do you have a question?
Yes, also I was saying thank you. Each in the meeting, she went to the county, she went to the Sonoma Valley groundwater. A lot of the homework she did. So then water and the public work and also the traffic, the Broadway, yeah. So that's the reason. Sometimes, I know how much work you did. But one thing is, I think that is important is education. I know the local people and very educated, very much make this sense to people. So the education and advertisement and the radio shows and the TV shows and morning shows I told you, and I will be in the book next week. I will talk about how to save the water. Each of the residents, if you can save the 10 gallon, and each day, the situation will be totally different. And also, it's not possible save the 10 gallon if you and a little bit shorter for you taking shower. And another thing is this is coming Saturday, and we will deliver free water saving kits. On the there.
What time are you going to be there?
I will be in the 8:30 as a
I am
volunteer.
going to be there from 11 to 1.
Okay, we connected each other. Yeah.
They're not vaccinations. I'm
That's-
not
it's
giving
fun.
out food, but God
Yeah.
damn it, we're going to get our
Just
water.
the because and some of the local residents took the picture, some of the sparkling, the during the daytime, with lots of water and post on my Facebook. Usually, recently I don't go to the Facebook, and then one day I finally find out, wow, that is really, really issue. We need to give more people, or give people the more education, informative the material, and then the.
So no more from the council. I'd like to open it up to the public. Oh, for God's sakes, Tom. All right, I'm closing. I'll be closing it and bringing it back to the council. So disrespectful. I've got to learn a little bit better. Sorry, Tom. Staff, is there anything here that you've heard here that you would like to answer for us?
I'd just like to thank the council members for volunteering for the drought drop by on Saturday.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
We are love to do that.
We'll see you there.
Motion to approve a resolution declaring a water shortage emergency in the Sonoma area and declaring a stage 1 voluntary conservation water shortage for the city of Sonoma water service area.
I second.
All right, thank you so much. May I have a roll call?
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington. Aye. Vice Mayor Gramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Oh my God, are we finished?
Oh, 6-2.
Okay, now I'm at 5.3, discussion, consideration, and possible action to adopt a resolution adopting the City of Sonoma 2020 Urban Water Management Plan and water shortage. contingency plan. Our Public Works Director, poor Fergie, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
The one and only Colleen Ferguson!
Thank you, council members. This item is something that comes before council every 5 years. We're required to update our urban water management plan. Within the urban water management plan is a water shortage contingency plan. It's just a happenstance that we're bringing that forward in a year that we're in a severe drought. And I do have a consultant that hopefully is still hanging with us. I'm ready to do a presentation over Zoom so you understand what's in the urban water management plan. There is a public hearing and a notice that was required for this item. And so he has about a 10-minute presentation with PowerPoint slides, and he'll try to make it as fast as he can.
Actually, a respect for the hour, does the council have an interest in hearing the presentation, or would you rather, you feel like you know enough about it and want to rather?
I could approve it based on the report myself.
Okay,
Same.
okay.
Okay,
So
thank
you-
you, Fergie. So I'm going out to the public?
You already did, I think.
Okay.
No?
Bring
Oh, I'm
it
sorry,
back?
we're just moving
Oh,
too
that's
fast.
right, thank you. All righty, so we're bringing it back. Thank you so much. And,
Motion to approve.
yep, motion to approve.
I put it in motion. For.
I second.
What's my folder? Sorry, roll call, please. I'm going through all these
Councilmember
agendas.
Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Ding,
I.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Oh, boy.
And we thank the consultant for being with us. Thank you, sir, there,
Thank
sir.
you. So, because this is sort of moved around, I'm on the consent calendar? No?
We're on 5-4
Yeah.
now.
One more, 5-4.
5-4.
5-4. Oh, okay. All right, 5-4.
I think this will be equally brief.
Oh,
20 seconds or less.
okay.
Madam Vice Mayor.
Introduction of, okay, then I should do that. I should really do it.
Okay.
Introduction of an ordinance amending division, 8 definitions, section 19.92, definitions of the Sonoma Municipal Code by adding the terms, and those are to follow, and you will explain that.
Sure. Very quickly, like I said, 20 seconds or less. We don't have definitions in our municipal code that defines the word very low income, moderate, middle, that we just adopted, that you will be doing the second reading of on consent tonight. This is the first time they'll be introduced to your code. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, any comments from the council? None? I will take this out to the public. Oh, gosh. Thank you,
Ah,
Tom.
I missed you. I would just like to say I approve, and I'm very happy that there are new definitions in the municipal code for very low-income people. We need to recognize them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Closing the public comment. And what are the wishes of the council?
Do we? Yeah, we need to put it in motion, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I put in a motion, introduction of the ordinance amending Division 8 for an approve.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Ding,
I.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
So your consent calendar is next. Oh, did I miss one? No, you got to continue item 5.5. Sorry. It's a public hearing.
I see it. Continue to June 21st. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to adopt a resolution establishing residential and affordable housing in lieu fees for new development consistent with policies in the city's certified housing element. So there you go.
So what do we do?
So the request from staff, it would be, you could open the public hearing, and our recommendation, though, is this item can be continued to June 22nd.
All right, that's what we'll do.
But do we take public comment only on the continuance then?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, June 21st. The metal block there.
Okay, I will open it for public comment.
I move that we continue item 5.5.
She
needs to close the
Oh, I'm sorry.
And now, Mr.
You want to get one in this?
And I'm closing public comment. For?
Now?
Okay. I now have the floor. I move that we move item 5.5 to June 21st, 2021.
I second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Burnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Jeez. Okay. And you were right, the consent, right, it's
At the
kind of,
end, it's nice, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I am on, okay, consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar, this is for you, Tom. All items listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be added upon by a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the members of the council, staff, or public request specific items to be removed for separate action. At this time, council may decide to change the order of the agenda. Is that a wish of any?
Take that off for the next agenda, huh?
Yeah.
Move that.
Okay, so let's see, I'm on 6.1.
I think we just do public comment.
Okay, public comment.
I'd actually like to pull 6.4, just to vote on it differently.
Okay.
We don't have to discuss it.
So we're at 6.2 then, is that right?
6.4, and then we pass, and then we discuss.
So
6.4.
public comment on 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3.
I did go out to Mr. Conlon, and he didn't say anything. We're depending on you, Tom. So I closed public comment
So
to my
you'd want
knowledge.
a motion on the balance of the consent calendar.
Motion to approve 6.1, 6.2, 6.3.
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Now we're like slap happy.
Councilmember.
Oh, wait a minute, 6.4.
We'll do it next.
Okay.
Councilmember Burnett,
Okay.
Aye.
Councilmember Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
So Councilmember Barnett, you?
Oh, I don't have anything to say about 6.4. I just want to vote differently on it. So anyone can make a motion to approve 6.4.
So I guess we just need to
Yeah, we need to
read it.
discuss in the detail.
Open up public hearing.
So do we want to have David Storer say the item and then? No? Is somebody going to read what 6.4 is?
No, I would-
6.4 is the adoption of an ordinance, so it was introduced last time, adopted tonight, amending the municipal code to modify affordable unit housing requirements and make findings associated with that the proposed amendments are not subject to CEQA.
And so
Thank you, and now we're going out to public comment. Thank you, Mr. Conlon. Closing public comment, and I would like a direction here from the council.
Motion to approve the ordinance.
I have a motion and a second. Who is the second?
You are second.
I didn't say, I'm
Oh,
not
you didn't
second.
say. I was second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Barnett,
no.
Councilmember Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries 3-1.
All right. Oh, okay, 7.1, council members' reports and comments. I don't know if anyone has any, but I know we're gonna have to look at these committees.
Yeah.
Who's sitting on these committees, I think we're gonna have to do those that soon. So I think that's really necessary to know who would like to do what. So I think that's important, and we can take that up.
Well, yeah, our former mayor was, by virtue of the fact he was mayor, he was a representative on a lot of these committees.
Right.
Correctly, so.
Right, thank you, so I guess
I'll circulate those, or the city clerk and I will circulate those to all of you. The next meeting's kind of loaded with stuff. I would probably, and July is kind of quiet anyway, I'd probably recommend that you do the appointments in the first meeting in August, if that makes sense. You can think about it a little bit.
And why don't we do it when we have our, when we decide,
You could-
we may have a new council member by then. So we'll do it all at once, yeah.
So either way, it's coming back to you in August, if that's all right.
With regard to the next meeting, I'm not sure if this is acceptable to say now. I would be happy to have a special meeting just on the budget.
Okay.
So I'm out of town
Thank
next
you.
week, but,
So conceivably, your normal your normal week of meetings is the 21st. You'd be okay with a meeting on the 22nd or the 23rd? And as I say that, we were envisioning going back to Zoom for that period of time, although tonight's worked out pretty well, but certainly take your comments on that. Worked well later.
it is so much nicer to be in person.
Okay.
It's like,
So,
it's actually very enjoyable to be in person.
so
Yeah. As
that was
opposed-
going to be in my city manager comments. Then sounds like we will be in person on the 21st. We may look at the agenda based on what you said, Councilmember Harrington. If the others are nodding in agreement,
Yeah,
may do a
that's fine.
special meeting just on the budget. I would feel more comfortable with that too, because I do think we have a lot to get through before the fiscal year ends.
Mr.
Yeah.
Conlon, are you available on the 21st? God, you're such a good sport. Thank you, Tom.
We don't.
Okay, so I think now I'm looking at city manager comments and announcements.
And that was it.
That was
I have
it?
a question for the city manager about the, are there any announcements about the fireworks yet or no?
So right now, the fireworks are planned that we're going like we're going to have them. Petaluma's having them. Sonoma's having them. I think they'll be good.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, well, how many cities are not? I saw a whole list.
Healdsburg, Windsor, and Santa Rosa are not. And I don't know about like Runner Park and Katati. Yeah.
Little bit far away. Yeah, if the Petaluma has, yeah, that'd be.
Petaluma will be they'll be shooting them up high from the fairgrounds to encourage people to stay home and watch them from home, which is kind of what we're doing too. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that,
City attorney.
yep, city attorney.
I have a comment that responds to Councilmember Barnett's concerns that his term may be ending in November if we hold a special election on that date, and thankfully he's wrong. The law reads, I'm reading now from section 36512 of the government code. It says, if the person appointed to fill the vacancy, if the vacancy occurs in the second half of the term of office, and this is of Rachel Huntley, the person appointed to fill the vacancy shall hold office for the unexpired term of the former incumbent. So it's not tied to any specific election.
Nothing here. No any relationship.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. Adjourned.
Great job.
Great.